What's happening? Live stream with nobody here. All I see is big fat zeros. Hope everybody's doing well. Let us know how life is treating you. I give you a moment to come on. But I've got just a little bit of time to come on and chat fragrance, chat life, or anything else that comes to mind. What's happening, Pradeep? How's life treating you? Adam, rock and roll. The regulars, let us know what you guys are wearing. I am home. I am in. Do you guys want to guess what I'm wearing? It's pretty predictable. But I mean, considering the large amount of fragrances that I have, it might be a little bit of a challenge. Yana, what's happening? Good to see you, Justin, Afonso. What's everybody up to on this fine Friday? Scent of the day, Halfetti. That's a rose oud, isn't it? Halfetti from Penhaligons. Oh, Justin. Yo, we're in sync, brother. Justin in the vintage Antaeus at the moment. Okay, so this isn't quite like the original release, but this is the older Antaeus that I'm in. And I've also got, bam, modern Antaeus. And I love it just as much. Okay, not just as much, but oh, the cap doesn't, the new cap doesn't fit on the old Antaeus. I think it's super. It's not as like growly, grizzly bear as the older one, but it's still really good. And I was out today. I went out by the pier. I was out by the marina, and I had Antaeus does not suck. Chew, I'll fucking stab you, and you will not get up from this stabbing. And I was over by the marina, and this bee came, and it kept buzzing around me. And I'm not usually afraid of bees. You know, I can sit there and let them come, and they'll have a sniff, and they'll usually buzz off after a while. But this bee kept following me, and I was like, damn, I wonder if it's the beeswax in Antaeus that is drawn it over. But eventually it left. I didn't have to harm it. We don't harm bees or any sort of animals, wildlife, insects. Even if they're in your house, let them be. It's their space too. You don't really own the house. You just got a piece of paper saying you can live there, but they've got every right being there as you do. All is love, and Zing is really good. I like Zing too. However, the opening is much better than the dry down. How's everybody doing? Sunday today, Zeno Davidoff. Diptyque Oud Palau. Good rose oud. What's up, Peter? Good to see you, man. Antaeus sucks, dude. Those are fighting words. Ramsey called Antaeus the greatest. Ramsey had a top 45 list, top 45 Castorium perfumes. And he had La Doulette skis at number 2. And I was like, that's awesome, Ramsey. I'm so happy that you have La Doulette skis. And this is not a top Castorium perfumes video. And he's like, don't feel bad. It lost out only to the greatest fragrance of all time, Antaeus. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel bad at all. I find that quite an honor to come in second. And I agree, Antaeus is one of the greats, one of the damn greats, one of the best ever. It's a very special perfume, and I have a long history with Antaeus. I friggin' hated it when I first smelled it. I thought it was the worst thing ever. And I remember getting into the car to go to the mall. We'd go to the mall every once in a while, and it was like a 30-minute drive from my house to this specific mall that carried Antaeus, because Chanel distributorship is really weird. They don't carry Antaeus everywhere. It's got to be like more of an upscale bougie place. And for the whole 30 minutes of that drive to the mall, I would be thinking about Antaeus, that really nasty fragrance, and how excited I was in getting to revisit it. And then that hate just slowly turned into like this undying love, like this burning love for it, where I bought it for myself for Christmas that year. Yeah, vintage. It does have that growl. I don't find the new stuff has the. It's not honey. It is beeswax. It is literally beeswax. Even the leather and everything's toned down. Like they've turned the notches down, but it's still a friggin' beautiful perfume. When you compare it to stuff on the counter that's next to it, yeah, the newer stuff doesn't have the beeswax. I agree with that. Deus always reminds me of my perverted uncle Stan. Yeah, and I definitely see that. It has that like uncle quality to it. It's such an 80s perfume. It's something that you would imagine on a 50-year-old gentleman in tweed or something. Bellamy is also brilliant. The Lurker is here. What's up, Lurker? Sentie's Breath of God from Lush. Phenomenal, like an out of control Dior. Beautiful perfume. Very smoky. Oh, yes. Just watched the Live with Antoine. Yeah, great stream, great interview. Good job, Raul. I was just talking to Gillen about this. Raul really gave Antoine time to speak and without interrupting him. And it was a great interview. I like that. That's the job of the interviewer. Let the person you're talking to, let him speak, let him finish his sentences. Don't cut them off. And he did a great job. Really like that. Really like that. So I'm seeing Aroja Qatar. I'm seeing Carner Barcelona. Jonathan just ordered a Rouge L'Adore sample set today. UPS a little slow. It can't be any slower than they can't be any slower than Canada Post. Look who is he. All I see is I am feel box. You're feeling a box. Why do those show up like those? Is that supposed to be like an emoji in there? Oh, is it supposed to be poo or something? I am feel poo. What? French lover. The duck feeling generous. Hello, addicts. Welcome. Welcome. Are we addicts? I remember coming out with my addiction video and so many other guys, YouTubers, big YouTubers going, yeah, I'm not an addict. I'm not an addict, you know. I'm not addicted to buying perfume. I pay all my bills and I go out with my wife and we do all these things and then like months later things start to surface to the top. Mm, mm. Careful what you deny. Because you're not denying us, right? You're not lying to us. There's nobody to lie to but yourself. And that's the thing you need to be careful of. French Lover is probably my favorite DNA ever. It's a good one. What's up, Abe? Fine line between hate and love. Yes. And that line is fear. Aha, Victor, what's happening? Trying to connect with Sultan Pasha. We had something scheduled last week for him to come on live, and he canceled at the last. It wasn't last minute. He gave me a little bit of heads up, and he's like, he's got some things going on, and we try to reschedule, but I'm gonna try one more time to have Sultan come on. That would be great. But how you doing, Victor? Victor is assembling his army of animals. Sacred Scarab is amazing. Recently had the chance to put on my nose. Squid is my yoga and meditation scent. Ooh, damn. Hmm. Since Antoine, he wasn't supposed to do that, but he did. It's okay. I think I've probably given them away in conversation here and there, and lots of people have guessed correctly. Since Antoine mentioned the keynotes in Perfumes 2 and 3, he didn't really give it away in 3. He did in the second one. He didn't. He did. He gave a little bit of the third one. He didn't give them completely away. But no, we're not going to talk about them openly. Nice try, though. Platinum Egoist is underrated. Does that, no, I think you're alone there, Christian. Does anyone else get kind of pissy vibe from Kuros? No, not at all. I have no idea what you're talking about. What's up, Frank? Good to see you. Let me drop the link if somebody wants to come on. I'm not going to be here forever. I'll be for a short while. Okay, if somebody wants to click that link, come on. Love Noir Peace. Oh yeah, I wore Noir Peace the other night. Really beautiful, amazing perfume. Really captures that contrast of fresh and spicy, warm and spicy. Beautiful rose top. Peter says Kuros is famous for its pissy. No, never noticed that pissiness. What kind of piss are we talking about? Yeah. Yeah, but I just told him like whenever you're ready, whenever your schedule is okay, we'll connect. We'll do something. We'll do something. What's up, Nick? Kuros' shower gel. Oh damn, look at this guy. He's fucking pulling out the big bucks. Antoine FFS. What's up, Flower Girl B? What's everybody wearing? Oh, Bri, you're gonna have to go back and watch it. We're not gonna reveal any of that here. When will Antoine be on this channel? Well, yeah, we talked about it a couple times, and again, I said whenever you're free, whenever you're ready. But he said, yeah, we're gonna do it. Maybe we'll like I wanted to have him for the launch of the first perfume, but I never really scheduled anything because there's just so much going on from my end. But maybe we'll do it with the launch of the second perfume. And people are asking for the second perfume, and I didn't want to push it. I didn't want to um I don't want to release it too quickly after the first one. I just want, people to be able to uh spend some time with La Doulette Exquise, enjoy it, embrace it, understand it, and not push too much. However, there's a lot of people asking for this to be shipped to certain parts of the world. And I haven't mentioned this on YouTube. I've shared on Instagram. It is now available for shipping in France. I think it's Germany. We opened up in Germany, Sweden, and Romania. So people are asking, and as soon as they ask, I just kind of open it up to certain parts. And Dubai, we're shipping to Dubai. If you don't ask, chances are I'm probably not going to open it up there, but that's what it is. France, Germany, Sweden, Romania, and Dubai, and Australia, of course. A couple of people in Australia were. I didn't realize the amount of people that are from Australia that watch here and really requested it, and they were very receptive. And the moment I opened it up to Australia, they were like, "Bang!" Quite a few of them picked it up right away. So thank you. I appreciate that. I saw Anuj in here somewhere. What's up, Anuj? Yes, Flower Bee Girl, your sample is on its way. Yes, I hope you enjoy that. Anuj, good to see you. I heard you had a visitor in your shop the other day. I got a text message saying, "Oh, I got to smell your La Doulette skis with Anuj, and he really liked it. So thanks for showing it." Natalia's in Le Leon. Love it. Vetterer bourbon. Parfum. I'm not familiar with that Fosco at all, but if you like it, I'm going to take your word for it. Rose Malaki. I got a very interesting email the other day. Do you guys know James Royal, the fragrance reviewer? He, the Royal Rush, or I don't know what his channel is now. I think he's rebranded a couple times. Royal Rush, Royal Rumble, James Royal, Royal Fragrances or something. So I get an email, I think it was yesterday morning, saying, "Hey, I love your fragrances. If you want to, I don't know the exact wording, but if you want your perfumes reviewed, send me like a presentation and we'll review them on your channel, on our channel." And he puts a link to his channel. And I click on the link and it was James's channel. I was like, but the guy's name isn't James. It was Eric something or other. So I was like, this fucking sounds like a pretty nifty scam. Somebody's scamming free perfumes and, just pretending to be somebody they're not. And I've never spoken to James. I know he lives, because the guy was requesting that they be sent to Tennessee or Kentucky or something like that. I was like, hang on a second. James lives here in my city, like probably 20 minutes away from me here in Mississauga or Brampton. So I messaged James. I found him on Facebook and I messaged him like, dude, do you know this Eric person? Are you connected to him at all? And he's like, let me guess. This guy pretending to be me. He's like, yeah, no, it's not me. So somebody is scamming. Somebody's out there scamming free fragrances and pretending to be somebody they're not in trade for a review that will never happen. I was like, I wonder why he tried to hijack James's channel, considering James hasn't uploaded a video in over 10 months, right? Some fucked up people out there, I tell you. No, Sultan did send some samples, and I was waiting for him to come on and try them with him so he can explain them instead of me just kind of wasting them. Christian, when he wants some action, he just sprays some kudos, eh? What's up, Manly Sense? I'm not sure what this means, but that's a very interesting username. DK Dule Duduf. Do you like the smell of keep met? What? Do you have enough stock left of LD? Yeah, there's still plenty. We are somewhere in between half and a quarter. Not yet halfway through, but more than a quarter through. That's a better way of saying it. That's how we are. Any thoughts on Ensar Oud, having him a Russian? Well, a Russian Adam has been on Ramsey's channel 3 times now. I think they've done 3 live streams. Go check out Ramsey. Like, there's a lot of information. There's probably 10 hours of live streaming right there. I don't know what else you could possibly ask them. Like, even watching Antoine's interview today, it's like there was, I think it was at least once, maybe twice, he's like, I've already talked about this many times. I don't want to waste too much time talking about this because there's so many other great things. But, you know, when you have somebody on very often, you just kind of end up talking about the same things over and over again. And it's kind of defeats the point of an interview. Like, you want to learn something new. I mean, yeah, you could probably come up with some new and innovative questions, but Pat in La Douletic skis. It's beautiful on a rainy day for sure. Yeah. Aren't we all pretending to be someone we aren't? Rich Mitch really slamming out those super chats, eh? Dude. Thank you, Rich Mitch. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we all want to be seen in a certain light. We want to be accepted. I don't know. Like, wouldn't you want to be accepted for who you really are, for the person you align with, then instead of somebody that you're not? But then comes in that, well, maybe I need to be somebody I'm not to be accepted. That's very different. And if that's the case, that would suck because then you can't really play that charade forever. Your true self eventually comes out. It's like giving yourself away, abandoning yourself to be accepted. I think you're better off being alone. You're better off accepting yourself and being comfortable alone than being somebody you're not just to fit in. He did say, Antoine did mention that a few people have reached out to him and kind of were interested in doing something similar to me. And I don't want to ask him, it's none of my business, but I'm pretty sure I know of one of the persons, a YouTuber, because they've reached out to me to ask me some questions. And I sort of explained the process to them. Good friend. I would consider them a very good friend that is on YouTube, familiar to all of you. And I'm not sure what the result was because I've never gotten back to them, but it's possible. It's possible. Can someone drop the link? So the interview was on Instagram, and I think it's going to be uploaded to YouTube. Raul said he's going to upload it to his YouTube channel. I don't know if the live is still up, but give me a second and I will have a look. I'll have a look for you. Give me a moment. Okay, give me a moment. So it was on Eternal Scent Journeys, and I don't see it. Maybe it takes a while to process. Oh, there's an IG live here. I don't see it. It might take a while for it to process, or maybe he has to upload it. Or if I do end up finding, I'll drop it. I'll drop it down below. Do I ship to Germany? Did I say I ship to Germany? I think I do ship to Germany. Fucking hell. My memory is horrible and it's getting worse. And I know I shouldn't be saying that, but it is. My memory is certainly I think I've got early signs of Alzheimer's. France, Germany, yes. Romania, Sweden, Dubai. Right. Yes. Ship to Germany, France, Germany, Slovenia. I'm not sure why Romania. Sweden, Romania, and Dubai. Australia, UK. If you're not pretending in the slightest, then you're not human. It's a very long conversation. What's going on, Ono? Rich is pulling out the bank here. Look at this. I'd like to be accepted for who I am instead of being jailed for it. Yeah. And I imagine by jail, you mean being judged for it. I agree. There's no bigger freedom than being able to present yourself to the world who you truly are. That's magical, man, right? No fear, no shame, no guilt, no second guessing yourself. But that's where artists come into play. That's where artists express themselves from, is that truth. Did launching a brand change you? Yeah, it taught me so much. It taught me to act. It taught me to stop distracting myself and get up and do stuff and be conscious of it, even if it's just making the bed or, what you do now takes you into the future. You're creating your future self. So it's taught me a lot. It taught me to stop wasting my time. And with effort, almost anything is possible. Starting a perfume brand is not impossible. Yeah, the truth always comes to the forefront. You can't hide the truth. It's simply truth is love, man. You can't hide that. You can't bury it forever. Okay, so here we go. JP Music says I help Rahul upload his content to YouTube. We will try to post it tomorrow or on Sunday on YouTube. Sure. There you go. So it'll be up in the next few days. And it was longer than the average IG. The average IG, I think, or it used to cap off at 1 hour. This ran quite a bit longer. What's up, Yashi? What's up, Shiva? Oh, my hair is looking good. Thank you. Thank you. Paulo Gomez in the house. What's happening, Paulo? Nobody wants to come on. I dropped the link. I can't get anybody to come on here. Are you guys all afraid of me or what? I ain't gonna bite. I ain't gonna bite. I ain't gonna bite. Galen, where are you? Galen cries for a live stream all the time and doesn't want to come on. Okay. Hang on a second. Give me a moment here. Scent of the day, Au Noir. Really good. Au Noir always, it's weird. As soon as you mention lavender perfumes, Au Noir always comes up. But is it mainly a lavender fragrance? Is that all it's known for? Like, to me, Jersey is much more, Chanel's Les Exclusives Jersey is much more lavender forward than Au Noir is. It's much more like a picture perfect lavender. Au Noir's got so many other things going on. Like, lavender is sometimes unnoticeable. Get your ass on here, Galen. When is Galen shooting a mini documentary? I don't know. Who do you guys want to see Galen shoot next? Give him some referrals. I know he likes to do people up close to him in Portland, that part of the area, but I enjoy those a lot too. Maybe he can do Antoine Lee. Maybe we can go to Paris together and he can do Antoine Lee. That would be awesome. Spaced out. I'm noticing you commenting on a lot of those old streams. Yeah, cool. A lot of them were made private for some reason. I went into my old videos. I was like, why are these private? Like, who privatized these? I don't remember doing it. And I'm not sure how they got there, but I made a majority of them visible. Is Galen a filmmaker or a photographer? He's a goddamn lurker, is what he is. That's what he is. I don't think he knows himself what he is, but he can be anything he wants. Wouldn't it be great if he did that for a living and got paid for it and made lots of money? That's what I think he should be doing. Lots of people never respond to my asks. What about Rich Mitch? Maybe you can do a documentary on Rich Mitch. What's up? Did I say hello, Michelle? Well, hello, Michelle. Good to see you here. How are you doing? How's life treating you? What is new? Gillen should interview Jeremy Fragrance. What would you ask Jeremy Fragrance, Galen? What would be your first question? What would be your burning question to Jeremy? I think instead of interviewing him, I'd rather go party with him. Like, there's nothing we don't know. He pretty much lives his life online. I'd rather just go party with him and have a good time. I think he'd be a good party. A documentary on Dogman. Shit, there's a name I haven't heard of in a while, but he's left YouTube, hasn't he? For what, like fishing or something, motorcycles? What is he talking about now? I know he came from another community. I think it was video games, maybe the original Dogman. I have no idea. Will there be a sport flanker of no flankers. No flankers. I'm happy with LD just the way it is. I think I should be with Rich Mitch and Maurice Roussel. Yeah, that would be good. Go get Maurice Roussel. Yeah, that was a good stream. That was over an hour. Was that live or was that? I think that was pre-recorded, or we did a live and a pre-recorded with Karar. Karar brought a lot of beauties with him. Are you going to do it? Yes. Yeah. We will. We'll do a live with Antoine. We will. Just need some original questions. Ask him things that he's never talked about before. I have a couple of ideas. All right. Everybody too scared to come on. What the fuck is going on here? I feel like a Lone Ranger. What's up with Uncut Gem? What's up with it? You tell us. What do you think about Uncut Gem? Mmm. Mmm. Is this a top 10 or is this not a top 10? What are you trying to say, Rich Mitch? I see all kinds of top 10 listings lately, or not top 10s. Gillen, jump on or I'll gut you like a fish. Do you remember the first time you heard gut you like a fish? I think the first time I heard that was Mike Tyson saying it to a competitor. I'll gut you like a fish. I'll eat your children. He's just going off on the guy. That's when Mike wasn't in the greatest headspace. Scent of the Fil de Joie. Joy. Huge stinking night blooming jasmine. I love night blooming indolic jasmine, pissy jasmine. I think jasmine is what makes Tuscan leather so great. Or what's the other leather they have? The ombre leather. It's that jasmine note. A good gem is being received very poorly. Hmm. What do you think went wrong? I'm noticing it's got a very fruity top. Something about it reminds me of, and it's fruity like almost. It's obviously like a synthetic fruit, so your perception can be anything. They could say it's pineapple, but pineapple can be mango. It's again perception. So I am getting a large amount of fruit at the top, and it reminds me of music for a while. So for some reason, I think pineapple, but I don't think it's a horrible perfume. It just doesn't really, for 650 bucks, it's not pulling me. I need to do like a couple extra flips. Right now it's doing like one flip. I need two more flips. Did you smell secretion? I have. And I didn't think it was so horrible. I remember seeing the reviews, reading the reviews, and how scary this perfume was. And when I smelled it, I was let down by how gross I thought it was going to be and by how gross it wasn't to me. It was slightly metallic, and I hate metallic uh, accords, but I didn't think it was horrible by any means. Smelt bloody and milky, yeah. But I've smelt like worse. I think M Mink is worse for me. Like M Mink makes my stomach turn. Like I really think eggs and cold blood. It's almost like if you had taken a bowl with boiled eggs and smashed them up and filled that bowl with blood and put it in the refrigerator. It's a very cold perfume. And to me, it's just disgusting. Absolutely vile. And I have a bottle. Go figure. I'm not sure what this means. Huge is my Delure bottle in the remotest location. Oh, no, it's not, Bobby. Somebody from Dubai paid a lot of money to get a bottle shipped out there. Um, People from I'm getting messages from Latvia. There's several bottles in Australia. So the remotest, I mean, you're pretty remote. You're pretty remote. You're the only one in Hawaii, but there is one in Dubai. There's several in Australia. Somebody from I don't even know where the fuck Latvia is, but somebody in Latvia is really interested. I'm getting messages from Indonesia, from India. Where else? Philippines. There's a bottle in Philippines. So they are out there in these remote places, these obscure places. Obscure for me. Tonka Imperial or Vanilla. Well, depends what you want it for. They're both tobacco and great vanilla scents. Vanilla Havan to me is much more animalic and interesting, I would say. But Tonka Imperial is well made too. Um, but Vanilla Man, so much. It's more thicker. It's got more substance. It almost feels alive. But I've got both. I've got both. Did you ever hear of Chanel Ivoire? I haven't. I know Balmain's got something called Ivoire, I'm pretty sure. Dimitri's Sorcery of Scent Reviewed. It's not even listed on Fragrant. That guy has got a nasty collection. He's got so many vintages and backups and backups. He's got a very clean collection. His Guerlain collection is vintage Guerlain, and Hermes and Chanel is out of this world. Really fabulous perfume collection. Is it easy? No, it's illegal. You cannot ship perfume in any country. No, it's a dangerous good, man. What fragrance was the M Mink by Byredo. So bad. I remember first smelling it on Christo. He liked that shit. I was like, dude, that's so to me it's unwearable. Like I don't want to wear that stuff. No, I haven't sent any bottles to India yet. I'm kind of afraid of sending to these I don't know what the post office would be like there. Like if the bottle would actually arrive to its destination. I mean, if somebody was willing to assume the risk, I would. That's not a problem. Just reach out. But Dimitri's collection is insane. It is. Roja has a great vintage collection. I'd love to see Roja's Guerlain collection. I bet you it's gorgeous. Latvia is right under Finland, under Estonia. So you get a geography class here on live streams. All right. Do you think Kugyan will come out with something new for Dior before the end of the year? Before this year? Probably not. I mean, we're almost in November and nothing's been announced yet. I can see mid next year possibly, but I'm not expecting a whole lot. I'm not expecting to be like wowed. I'm sure you told many times, but why did you choose Antoine as your perfumer? Ah, dude's a great perfumer. It's just how it worked out. I I didn't know how to find a perfumer. I it's there's not anyone else out there like Antoine. You can't just ring on somebody personally and expect for them to make a perfume for you. You know, you need to go through some sort of avenues. And I was looking at finding a perfumer through a flavoring house like IFF, Givaudan, Firmenich, Takasago, Mon, whatever else is out there. Robert Tat, I never contacted, but you get the point. And it was kind of challenging. You know, I got had a couple of calls with Givaudan, and it wasn't very. It was very bleak. You know, I could see the opportunity there was very slim. And I was talking to somebody, and they mentioned Antoine Lee. I was like, holy fuck, Antoine Lee, yes. And I kind of like heard in the background that he was independent and working on his own. And I was like, let's try Antoine. Let's try Antoine. And that's how it happened. What do you think of Noir Peace? Love it. I was just talking about Noir Peace earlier. I wore it a couple nights ago and I love it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a long lasting, complex, deep perfume. Fresh, spicy, warm, spicy, really nice. What's going on, Ramsey? Talking about you earlier too, telling them how you said, "Don't feel bad about La Diletic skis coming second behind only the greatest perfume of all time, Antaeus." And I can't hold it against you. I would probably make the same arrangement. I'd put Antaeus as number one myself. Damn, there's some good questions here. Bellamy Vetiver or Chanel Sycamore? Oof. Oof. You want my honest answer? So in terms of if I can only wear one for the rest of my life, I think Bellamy Vetiver is more interesting. Mm, I think Bellamy Vetiver is more complex, more dynamic, more full, more rich. I mean, that's not to take away from Sycamore. That's not to say Sycamore isn't good because it's brilliant as well. But I think Bellamy Vetiver. Pradeep is saying Vetiver extraordinaire. No, that would come third, Pradeep. No, I would not sell Sycamore and buy Encre Noir. No, that's not my advice. The RSA says new privy next year, so that'll probably be a Francis Kurgan. What do you think will be the next Les Exclusives? That's a good question. I don't know. What haven't they done? That's what we would have to look at first. What haven't they done? And they've done pretty much everything. Um, I have a feeling it'll be a floral. It'll be a floral dominant. They'll go back to florals. Sell Sycamore. No, no. Stop giving them horrible advice. Ramsey, why don't you come on for a bit? Come say hello. Mm. Rich Mitch saying Kurgan is going to do more of the same. His famous nitro white musks that will put us to sleep. Fresh, clean, inoffensive, slightly boring, but long lasting. I ran into a girl at the perfume counter last week and we got to talking and she asked me what I thought about feminine plurial and I was like, all right, let's give this a whiff. I thought, okay, it's nice, but it's got no personality. Like she's looking for a signature scent. I was like, it's real, like it's pleasant. Like all perfumes, they're pleasant. Like even Uncut Gem, it's pleasant, right? But it's got no. I said it's got no personality. And she's like, yeah, I kind of agree with you. And I said, I've got the masculine version, and again, it's like nice, but it's just like slightly lacking something. And she's like, what would you recommend for floral? So I took her like right across was the Frederick Mall counter. And I pulled out in Fleur de Cassis and sprayed it on her. And her eyes just kind of like bugged out. She's like, oh my God, I love it. And I was like, really? You don't find it dirty or strange? And she's like, no, it's so dark. But, and that's how I feel about FK is like, his things are just snoozers. I mean, they're nice. They're really nice, but they're not. I don't think they're for people that are deep into this game. They are for people that haven't smelled millions of things and have nothing to compare it to. They don't have like a reference of every other amazing perfume out there. And if you come to that counter and smell an FK, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this smells really fucking good. And they do. They smell really good. But if you've smelt thousands of perfumes like the majority of us, you're gonna be like, this is fucking boring. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You can't say his perfumes suck or they're shit because that's just That's just ego, right? That's just your experience. That's you comparing it to something else or everything else. I don't think I know Granville, or I've smelt it once or twice. I don't know enough to speak about it. Ramsey can't come on. He's in the world amongst the masses. I'd love another queer from Chanel. I would too, but do you think it's going to happen? I was surprised when MDCI put out another queer. Like they have queer Gadamonte, and then they put out another queer Cavalier. I was like, interesting. Interesting. Is Oud on its way out? No, I don't think so. Hmm, I don't think so. Oud is now its own genre, just like ambers, just like fougere or floral or woody floral musk, chypre. It's oud, but it's also the biggest scam in all of perfume. Most people don't know what a real oud smells like, to no fault of their own, but you're just buying an accord. I'd love a sandalwood dominant perfume from Chanel. Well, I think you can get that in Bois de Zil. That's what Bois de Zil is. A really good sandalwood perfume. I've been meaning to ask you. Some musicians don't like to listen to their albums. Some actors don't watch their movies. Did you happen to have us? No, there, dude. Like for 2 months straight in the summertime, maybe 3 months, I wore nothing but La Doulette skis every single day. In all seasons, actually. And I enjoyed it immensely. And I just kind of wanted to become intimate with it and understand it at like the deepest level that I possibly could. And now that I have, I can put it down and start to enjoy other things. But no, I had no problem wearing it, none whatsoever. And it was great to see it um, in different climates, different weathers, different, like even for me, like different moods, and see how it reacts. But no, I didn't have trouble listening or wearing it. Good morning, Australia. What's happening? Apom has that sweaty, stanky smell underneath the orange flower. Yeah, yeah. Apom is that a piece of me had that kind of like licked skin accord to it, like a lover had. A lover had licks. I've. Unbelievable. The duck has shut up. Or things to buy. I think I have ran out of things to say. I've ran out of things to buy except super chats. Well, keep running out of things to say or buy, and keep them coming, Rich Mitch. Keep them coming. Don't be shy. I've run out of things to buy. I bought 5 perfumes yesterday. Five brand new perfumes. Cost me about $1,500, but yeah, about 15, maybe a little bit more. So $300 on average. And I'll reveal them once they show up, which will probably be in a week to 10 days. Have you ever smelled? Yes, I have Absolute Pour Le Soir. I do. I have, and I own it. And I think it's Absolute Pour Le Soir. Yeah. There's a couple of Absolute Pour Le Mat. Is it Pour Le Matin or something? I'm not sure what you mean here, Shiva. I felt that way about Rania J's line. Very meh. Felt what? Like no personality? I smelled a couple of Ranias and I thought they were nice. I thought they were quite interesting. They were very deep and heavy perfumes. It is here forever. What's going on, Caboose? Good to see you. Bois de Zille is a damn masterpiece, in my opinion. There's nothing like it. It's so damn good. It's really good. It really captures my attention, and I love how like clean and rounded it is, and powdery and creamy and warm and inviting, and I feel so relaxed when I wear it. It reminds me of a tropical island. It must be that it's got that coconutty thing in the sandalwood. Tried African leather and felt the same as you, a little underwhelming and linear. Yeah, shit. I didn't like it. I just thought it was extremely overrated, like blown out of proportion. Must have been all these YouTubers getting free bottles because everybody was hyping it up for a while. And I was like, this is it. This is the amazing African leather. I wouldn't have thought it was so horrible if people hadn't blown it up. It was just like it's so one dimensional. Like that's something I would look at and say, all right, you have a good idea here, but let's add to it. Let's add another dimension, add a little bit more depth, but it's just so flat. Good idea, but this execution, I think that's where they failed. Good concept, poor execution. Chanel surprisingly didn't use a single floral. I don't know, man. There's got to be rose and iris in there. It's way too powdery not to have any iris. We'll always have a quack. Stop super chatting me. Yo, what the hell are you doing? Considering super chat, YouTube takes 30%. And I think even more. Even more. They say 30, but you can tell like at the end of the month, you're like, I got way more super chats than they're giving me. So they take way more than 30, but I appreciate it. Stop it, but I appreciate it. What's up, Frego on the Tyne? Hello, all. It's been a while. Hope you're well, Rich Mitch. I hope you're well too, Rich Mitch. Why wouldn't Rich be well? Rich is always well. Uh, how about living through all the modifications and iterations? That wasn't difficult at all. It was kind of difficult for me, and Rich kind of helped me with this too through this process. Is here I am working with this legend, right? Antoine Lee, this iconic legend, and how do I tell him that I don't necessarily like a perfume, without offending him, without kind of stepping on his toes? Because I didn't know him like before I started work. Like I've never spoke to him or really understood how he worked or a lot of this stuff worked. And I was like, how do I tell him that this is nice, but it's not for me? And that's exactly how I told him. I was like, this is nice, but it's not what I'm looking for. And there were even times where he said, Eugene, this is nice, but it's not to offend you. It's offending myself. It's a little bit too boring for what you're looking for. And I was like, okay, I'm glad that we're on the same page. But honesty is something that he's very high on, and so am I. So we were able to connect that way. And the biggest thing for me was to learn to just kind of tell him directly, yes or no. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. Um, and then, talking to Rich is like, just push them, just challenge them. Don't be afraid. If it's not what you want, tell them like, And that's kind of what I did. I just said, let's try this, let's try that, or let's take some of this away. And he'd be like, sure, 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 we can try that, or no, that's not gonna work. I already know it's not gonna work. And he was right. Even though he said it wasn't gonna work, he sent a sample of it and he's like, yeah, it didn't work. Sorry about that. But that was kind of the biggest challenge for me, was um just kind of getting over the awe of working with, an iconic perfumer like Antoine, and just treating him like anybody else, like any one of you guys. And that's what I did. I like to treat all people the same, and there's ways of talking to people when there's something that you don't like. You don't go and tell them this is shit. I want to rework or send another modification. But that actually happened with the third perfume. He sent 3 iterations, and I didn't like any of them. I was like, this is not really what I'm looking for. And he had reworked all 3 of, not reworked, but totally created 3 new modifications for the third perfume. I don't know if that answers your questions. How about living through all the modifications and iterations? Um, and it was just a matter of, in each iteration or modification, there'd be something I liked and something I didn't, and I'd point that out, and he would just make changes from that, and everything. And then you come to a point where something clicks. You wear it and you're like, this is it. This doesn't need to be changed anymore. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. And that's how it worked. Yeah, but good question. Thank you. Yeah, I think all Les exclusives are magical. At least for me. To me, the gold standard of perfume. I could easily get rid of everything and just wear Chanel. Get rid of all the niche, get rid of all the other designer exclusives. What do I prefer? I prefer New York Intense. How are we friends? How? How? I keep saying this. How are we friends? Rich gets rid of all of my favorite perfumes. I think he's trying to send a message. I think he's trying to tell me that I have shit taste. Is that what you're trying to do, Rich? Wish I had bought it. So Shiva's getting back. I think this is about Rania J. Her fragrances disappear. How? They're so heavy and thick. Thank goodness for buying discovery sets. Now I can go discover something Italian or British. Oof, not sure I like that. Anuj, when in doubt, follow the lead of Rich Mitch. Quack quack. Yeah, sometimes Rich will pull you out of a hole. Sometimes he'll lead you to the light, but there are other times he'll lead you into the dark, just like telling you to get rid of your Bois de Zil. Hmm. But thank you for the super chat, Anuj. Okay, I hope it's not a blind buy. I hope you've been able to try it, but I really like Midnight Stroll. And I think even Rich is contemplating picking up Midnight Stroll. 515. Anuj, you're too kind, man. You're too kind. You don't need to do this. But I'm not going to disconnect my super chat either. But thank you. I appreciate that. It's very generous. Anuj has always been very generous here. Anuj paying Tom Cruise. Dude, you see this guy, he gets on live streams. It's 8, 9 o'clock at night, and he's still at the warehouse. Like, you can see he's still working, fulfilling orders. So this guy's busting his balls for all of us, and I appreciate him. He's fucking super. Like I like doing videos with Anuj, but what I like even more is like just um getting intimate with him personally, like when the camera's down, and getting to know him as a human being. And he's even more wonderful than you guys see on TV. No, he's full of so much knowledge. I forget if you prefer vintage. I forget too, Flower Girl B. Um, I would have to retry them, but I don't think it's a big difference. I think it's the clear bottle, which would be EDP. Ramsey says you have a masterpiece on your hands with the Ludex skis. Thank you, Ramsey. I appreciate that. Um, thank you. I was gonna say I know, but that would have been a little bit too much. But I know, I really do know that, and I feel it too. It's very special. Hey, Gene, congrats on launch. Got my bottom. I love it. Great job. Very happy for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I did get your message, and I'm not sure if you're still looking for somebody to do a video concerning fragrance. But if you need any help getting in contact, let me know. I'll do what I can. I think you're the video producer, right, Tim Kelly? I'm pretty sure that was you. We had a conversation once about producing a film on fragrances. Yeah, yeah. Mull should fucking hire Antoine Lee. Why? It seems like he's sticking with the IFF perfumers, and I'm not sure if he's locked into that, if that's kind of something that he has with Estee Lauder. But I would really like to see him branch out, and I'd love to see him collab with Antoine Lee. That would be amazing. Amazing. Maybe we the people should push Frederick for that, and just kind of chirp in his ear until he gets the point. I have told Roussel and was a grunt might still. It's not shit. At least not from. I don't think it's shit. I just wish it was a little bit more interesting, a little bit deeper. Was there a mod that could have been? Rich actually has a few. I think I sent Rich. He's got one for sure. He's got a few, and I was like, I know how Rich loves having obscure pieces, and I was like, here, have one of Antoine's modification. It's the only one in the world, and he was pretty chuffed in receiving it. But it's not something that I would have used. It is a very like they say, it's just like so out there. It was more reminiscent of Antoine's earlier work than what he's doing lately. It was much more like avant-garde, the sort of things he was doing with Eldo. I try to picture Rich working with a perfumer. Mate, I don't want to offend you, but appalling, shocking, just shite. I can totally see Rich saying this. Uh First he would yawn, right? Then he'd be chewing and he'd be like, shite. Nope. Shite. Okay. So with Guerlain and the older feminines, I found that I was usually more drawn to the EDPs. And I think that's what it was with Samsara, vintage Samsara. I preferred EDP, but you can't go wrong with the EDT either. And for masculines, for some reason, I preferred the EDTs when you take into consideration Habit Rouge, Heritage, or Heritage. Um, Vetiver's only got an EDT, doesn't it? Vetiver doesn't have an EDP. Weird. Does Vetiver have any? No, it doesn't. But I preferred L'Instant de Guerlain and EDT as well. From L'Homme Ideal, I think I preferred the EDP to the EDT. It was more mature, more interesting, less sweet, more sophisticated. What's happening, Al? By the time I reached for that first bottle of gray flannel in 1978, I was 4. I was 4 when you were wearing that. So you must have been like, what, 12? I had a gigantic head of hair. Well, you still do. You still have massive hair, and spent over half an hour on it each morning. There you go. Al wearing the potions. Anuja's super chap. Anuja is super. He's fucking awesome. He's a total, like, a dude's dude. A dude's dude. See, Tim, you'd have a great show right here. Like, look at all the characters just in the chat. You have Al Manzano, you have Rich Mitch, you have Anuj. There's so many great people here you can interview or have on. You can probably start like a Netflix episode or something. Why not? Congrats, Eugene Bashki. Looking forward to trying them out once I get my hands on them. Svaka čas, pozdrav iz Danske. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Shite. Excuse me while I untie my perfumer in my outrageous basement amongst my backups. If Rich Mitch were to kidnap a perfumer and tie him up in his basement, who would it be? Who would it be? Dude, this is outrageous. Not one single person wants to come on the stream. This reminds me of real life. Nobody wants to hang out with me. What the fuck's going on here? What is it about me that nobody wants to come on here? Tell me. I want to know. What the fuck's happening? Is it me? Is it the stream? Is it the time? Is it you? What is it? Pradeep says, Damashi, of course. Rich Mitch says, Sheldrake. You wouldn't let him work? Ali Boy says, Bernard Chant. Damashi. Rich would force him to literally shit the bed. Damn. Olivier Creed's not a perfumer. Yo, Anuj. Anuj trying to pull a fast one on us. Galen, jump on. Don't be shy. Dude, I don't bite. Unless you wear 5-inch pumps. Jonathan, come on, man. I'm not sure if Jonathan's ever been on this channel, but I've been invited to a cigar stream in the next couple of days. I've been invited, and I might come on for a short amount of time. I'll have my kids here, so I don't usually like to stream or do stuff. You know, I like to spend time with them, and I don't like streaming when they're here. But I'm going to try and jump onto the cigar stream. Do you have the Profundus Belgium? I have Profundus in what are those bottles called? The big tall ones. It's very lovely, but kind of an outrageous perfume. A cigar stream. I'm not telling Rich. I'll never tell. Queer Madesque. Is Queer Madesque overrated? I think it's a little bit overrated. Where are the Versace exclusives that you liked? Who said I like them? I don't remember saying that. And don't put words in my mouth. I don't appreciate that. Do not put words in my mouth. I tried them at Holt Renfrew. De Profundis is very floral. It's very sharp. It's so grassy. It opens up quite green. Slightly airy, incensey. A little bit bitter. Is there galbanum in there? I know it's chrysanthemum, but I'm not familiar with chrysanthemum at all. I can't say, oh yeah, it smells like chrysanthemum. But this is quite green. It's quite green the way it is. Very grassy. Ah, what perfumes do you wear when you're in a bad mood? Is it something dark and heavy or something light? You know what does put me in a bad mood? Even when I'm in a good mood is Interlude Man. I know when I haven't worn it in years, but when I did, I would go to work and I'd have Interlude Man and it was just so heavy and it made me angry. I realized that throughout the day, I was starting to get angry and it happened every single time I wore Interlude. So I made that connection. It's very weird. It has a lot of heavy energy to it. And I'm not sure what it is about Interlude, but I always found myself aggravated, annoyed, um, aggressive. It made me aggressive. Obviously, those are all characteristics that were inside of me, but Interlude had the ability to pull them out. So when I'm in a bad mood, then I want something lighter. Like that's where a good freshie would come into place. I think Guerlain's Eau de Cologne is good for that. If I'm in a bad mood, I don't really want to wear something darker or heavier. No, I prefer something lighter, uplifting. Oh, were there any of the Versace? My apologies. I thought where you asking where were those Versace exclusives? My eyes are horrible. Um, I didn't see where. I thought were there any of the Versace exclusives you liked? I thought they smelled so much like Armani Privé's, just kind of tidied up. Um, I didn't like the sandalwood one, Santal Boisé. I didn't like it at all. I thought the tobacco one was okay. It was very smooth, very well blended, but I also thought like that super fine blending was a disguise for something. But you got to remember, I was only smelling it on a blotter for a very brief moment. I actually sprayed some on my arms too, but um, I like the tobacco one better than the sandalwood. Smoke cigars with Bill Clinton, eh? That would be damn interesting. What do you think he'd say? What do you think Bill would tell us? Especially if we get him a drink or two. I'm thinking of getting Queer de Lancome. Get it. That's super hard to find, and it's an amazing leather perfume. Some people swear that it's better than Queer de Russie. I'm not one of those people, but it's very good. It's very damn good. I find Queer Maresque a little too synthetic, and they're noticeable synthetics. It's almost like tanning rawhide solution, something of that effect that I get. And I like the theme. I like that kind of raw leather, sort of Spanish leather. Not quite, not quite Russian leather, but there's something that annoys me in this perfume. I do prefer Fumari Turk so much more. I mean, it's good, but there's something in here that really bothers me. Something feels plasticky about it. Tragic scent of the night. Wash it off, man. Wash it off. Throw it out. Throw it out. I had sent somebody recently a sample of 5 tobaccos, and that was in there. And the next day I got a message saying, "Oh my god, I love Tabacalar." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy for you." I don't enjoy it myself, but other people will. Bruno Jovanovic has a unique style. Yeah, I haven't smelt enough of his work, but I like the man. I like the person behind the name. I think I'd love to see some more creativity from him. Let's see what he's got. Yeah, a different man interlude might hit different. I also gave my bottle away. I don't have my bottle anymore. Well, your bottles freeze solid if kept up at the lake house. Well, I'm not sure if perfume will freeze. Will perfume freeze? I've never left one out in the solid cold, but with all that alcohol in there, I'm curious. Put one in the freezer, Bobby O, and get back to us. There's no way interlude makes you chipper. There's no way, man. If anyone wants a date, private dating, chatting girls, go see them. First video I ever watched of yours was, yeah, I remember smelling it. I was just so blown away. I thought this was great. Like niche perfume was so eye-opening for me. It was a I just like a great connection to art, something different. No, it was a magnetic cap. It wasn't the friction cap. Do I wear perfumes all the time, man? All the time. I'm never without perfume ever. I like Jersey for bedtime. So Chanel has 2 great lavenders in their exclusives. They have Boy and Jersey. And if I'm going to wear one to work, it'll be Boy because I think it's more interesting, fuller. It plays out nicer, more interesting. Jersey is much more simpler, but I think it is more geared towards lavender. It's like this really nice herbal lavender, very soothing, very comforting. And then it's got that like nice, warm, sweet Tonka vanilla. And it's just, it's a great bedtime scent. Um, Geranium put them on sear kind of feels like that as well. Very soothing, very comforting. It's not chaotic. It's not like it doesn't clobber you over the head, right? I'm not really into cigars. I'll smoke one, but I don't know anything about cigars. Are you into milder or stronger cigars? I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know, but I enjoy a cigar from time to time. I think they're pretty cool. Question: have you heard of Queer to Russi by Anna Z? Uh I'm not sure. Let me see if I can Google this really quickly. But I can't even. I don't know. I don't know, Al. I'll have to check, but I don't think so. Yeah. Ramsey says Queer to Lancome is good, but it is not better than Queer to Russi. And I have friends that love perfume just as much or more than me, and they swear that Queer to Lancome is better. I don't think it is. I prefer Queer to Russi, and that's like outside of my bias. Like if I was biased, I would have said Sycamore earlier. If I was sticking with bias, I would have said Sycamore is better than Bellamy Vetiver. But no, if I'm splitting my bias away, uh, Bellamy Vetiver is more interesting than Sycamore, but Queer to Russi is also better than Queer to Lancome for me. I can't speak in general. For me, what's up, Michael John? Okay, Queer to Russi by Annecy. Let me see this. Is it an aldehydic uh, leather floral? If so, I might have smelt it. There it is. It pops up right away. No, I've not. I've not smelled this. What about it? What about it, boss? What do you want to tell us? I prefer boy to Jersey too. I do too. I do too. But for bedtime, it's Jersey for me. Anush says booze can freeze, but fragrance cannot. Hey, Rachel, what's happening? Good to see you. I've not tried the new Dior's. Considering picking up either 22 or Boy for my next Les exclusive. You know what? I often compare the two because they have very similar bases for me. It's the tops that are vastly different. They smell nothing alike, but the base, I find both are very, again, in that pastelly, waxy, warm, creamy avenue. Man, I might take shit for this, but if it's me choosing, I think I would go with Boy. Hmm. Because 22, again, if you have Bois de Zille and number 5, you can get that from 22 you can get from Bois de Zille and 5. They're all so closely connected. They're not exactly the same, but they're very closely connected. But if you're asking me, I say Boy. I have not tried Interlude 53. No. Hopefully I can in the future. Which diptychs? Tam Dao. Love Tam Dao. Odwell's nice too, but vanilla's just everywhere. Um Oud Palau is really good if you like that deep, thick, kind of skanky perfumes. Misia is quite interesting. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's got that really good leather that surprises you in the dry down. I've not smelled the vintage 19 Pure Parfum, but I've got vintage Eau de Toilette. But I love 19. I can't even imagine how great the vintage smells because I love even the modern. So I'm going to take your word for it. Who's excited for the World Cup? I know. I think Rich would be excited for the World Cup. Okay, I'm going to drop this one more time if somebody wants to come on. Oh, we've got a visitor. Got a very special visitor. Everybody, please say hello and give him a warm welcome. We've got the boss man. Holy howdy, yo, Jonathan.
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, man. We hear you. We see you. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Exceptionally well. Thank you for asking. It's good to see you.
I'm
Have you been on here
good to
before? I
see
know
you.
we've spoken. We've
One
ran into
time,
each other somewhere or other, but
100 years ago, I showed off my collection a little bit one time.
that's right. That's right. That's from my apartment.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out this lighting, and I got a new mic, and I've already broken the mic with my gorilla hands.
Hey, mics are made to be broken. Don't feel bad at all, man.
Well, it's this little screen. It's like
Yeah.
I guess it's a windscreen,
Like,
and I broke the
filter.
hook off of it. Yeah.
No, you sound great. We can hear you loud and clear. You sound wonderful.
Good.
We can see you. How are
I hate to
things?
leave you. Everything's great, man. Life is great.
Yeah.
I just got back home, so
Back home. Did you go traveling?
Yeah, I went out to Chicago. Stayed
All
out
right.
there for a while, and now
Cool.
I'm back. So yeah, just unpacking and got ran over by fragrances this last couple of months. So I'm sorting through that, and I'm trying to kind of get a setup and kind of get this camera and microphone set up. I might start dropping a few videos. I'm not sure.
Awesome. I'd love to see that. We've always got room for everybody. Anyone that
I'm
wants
a little
to
shy
start.
about it.
It's natural human behavior to be shy, but you know what? You go in there thinking whatever I record, I don't need to post, so it'll make you a little bit more comfortable. You record the episode, and then you get to decide if you want to post it or not, and that'll help.
Right.
And
I've done mock videos already where I just turn the camera on and start blabbing at the camera.
Yeah, that's it, man. And people will find you, and they'll enjoy what you're talking about, and people will stick. I never had an ambition to start my own YouTube channel either, and I was just kind of bothered. Start doing videos. I was like, well, I don't really want to, and I don't feel like I like speaking on a public platform. It was never me. Like, even looking at myself from school, I never wanted to stand in front of the class and read while all the other students were. I wanted to be hidden in the back of the room and not seen by anybody. So it was really awkward and uncomfortable for me to speak in front of, you're on this world stage, this platform. But soon.
I always think in my head that I have something to say, and I always think in my head that I've got the right angle on things, and then when it comes time to say it in front of people, I'm usually pretty shy, unless I'm in a closed group of people that I'm comfortable with. Then I can speak my mind, but otherwise I'm pretty reserved. I'm pretty shy, but I suppose with a little bit of practice that'll work itself out.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you can be shy. I mean, when you're creating videos, you're by yourself. There's nobody else in the room with you, so you have that comfort. And it is weird, like you're literally talking to yourself in front of a camera,
Right.
right? So it's a little
Right.
bizarre to begin with, so
Yeah.
you got to get comfortable with that. And then for me now, it's like not only that, but I have people in my real life that are aware of my channel, which wasn't always the case, but sometimes I get my son going, "Hey, my one of my best friends is watching your videos." And I'm like, "Oh shit. What?" Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Did I say anything?" Cuz you want to be as authentic and personable as you possibly can, and you don't want to feel like you have to censor yourself, but if I got my kids friends on my watching my videos, I'm not sure that I will always want to say the things that are coming to the forefront of my thoughts,
Right.
you know? So
Right. I always think I keep thinking like, how do I want to come across? Do I want to be myself? Because myself is a pretty blunt and forward and open person that pretty much, within reason, without disrespecting, say whatever's on my mind. But then I think to myself, I don't know, maybe I should ease into it, And
just yeah, when I look at YouTube channels, I connect much more with a person that is truly themselves than somebody that comes on here and talks like, "Oh my god, this is fucking amazing. You got to like,
right,
you know what I mean? Like that really
right,
quick, very
right,
poppy influencers sort of thing. I can't get on with
yeah,
that. Like it's not for
no,
me, but I know it serves its purpose. That's what the algorithm calls for.
yeah. I could
And
give a damn about the algorithms. Actually, if it's just a few people I know watch it, I'll be fine with that.
yeah, and you're gonna you'll certainly it'll take some time, but you'll grow your tribe, and people will come. And if if you like a fragrance and you're talking about it, the chances are there's somebody out there that loves the exact same fragrance, and
Right,
they want to hear what you have to say about this, right? So
right.
you
Gotta
know
love.
yeah, yeah, just go on. Is that the splash, the aftershave?
It's a sport
Fucking hell.
cologne.
Show that again. Damn. Ramsey
It's
talks that up.
oh man, it's I have the modern version, and Duncan sent me a bunch of samples of the vintage regular, but this sport cologne, it's it's otherworldly, man. It's really a knockout. I don't think I need to get anything else that I have this.
Mm.
It's that good. You were talking about this earlier. One of my favorite of all these fragrances that I have, of all the bottles and of all the cool stuff I have, this is probably one of my favorite things in my collection.
19.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a wee bit of the pure parfum, and it's a vintage, and man, it's just the best. I need to get another one of those, but you gotta kind of either give up a kidney or mortgage your house, or you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. But you know what? I got to be honest. I've always appreciated perfume more than money. You
yeah,
know?
I don't care
You know what I
about
mean?
money, dude. Yeah, I don't care
Like
about
when it
money.
comes to something that I love, and I get that it's probably more expensive than I should pay for,
Yeah,
that's soon forgotten. That cost is soon forgotten. And I
yeah,
swallow it. I'm like, fuck it. You know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not nothing.
Yeah. It's not
It's
nothing.
something. But once you get one of these gems, and you're just like, somebody hands you the stack of money back, you're like, yeah, I'll keep that. I'll keep
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Keep your money.
This is much
Keep your,
harder to come by. You can go
yeah,
and make money every single day, right?
yeah, yeah.
But
So,
how do you feel about Chanel perfumes? Are you deep
uh,
into the Chanel game?
speaking of which, I've just acquired two new ones. This is
Hell yeah.
this is a 2013 batch.
Eau de toilette.
That is correct. And it is it's nothing short of glorious.
Hell yeah.
I'm learning in my journey that the eau de toilettes are not to be dismissed.
Yeah.
It's I don't know why. I guess because I like deeper, richer, darker, more bombastic fragrances, challenging, whatever. I guess I kind of skipped over eau de toilettes and I think of them as less than or thinner or whatever. That was a mistake on my part. I just got this one in too. This is
Can you turn that to Coromandel? Nice.
Coromandel. This is the EDT.
How did you connect with, how did you hook up with these older formulations?
Got sources deep in the game, Eugene.
Man, enough said. You don't have to tell us any more secrets. But you scored two beauties. You scored two beauties.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for them too. I can't tell you. I would, like you said, trading for money. I wouldn't trade them for nothing.
Yeah,
you couldn't offer me anything for them.
Yeah. I mean, to be in this game, you need to have deep pockets.
Yeah.
Unless you want to watch from the sidelines, because perfume is not.
It's not cheap.
Well, it depends on what you want, how you want to build your collection. What you want to acquire. But yeah, it's not cheap. I've spent a fortune on fragrance, and I got to be honest. Like, I don't have a single regret. I don't miss a single dollar.
No, I have no regrets. It's really done something. Like when I stopped working, I was like kind of aimless and I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, what am I going to do if I don't work? Because I was a workaholic. I used to work all the time.
Same way, man. What did you do for a living?
I was a waiter and a bartender for a lot of years. I managed over the years, but predominantly I was a bartender and a waiter. And I did that for, probably 30 years.
You get to know a lot of interesting people that way, eh?
And I got to travel and I got to I got to have a career that was fluid. Like I wasn't stuck in one place for 30 years with, 2 weeks of vacation every year. I could come and go as I please. There wasn't a place in the country I couldn't go to that I couldn't get a job. I could move. I could, if I got burnt out at one place, I should just go to another place. And over the years, I upgraded to where I maximized the amount of money I could make in the business. So, but it also allowed me to like stockpile money and then go travel. Like, I've lived in Israel for a year. I've traveled up and down Egypt and throughout Europe, and kind of I've done crazy things like get on a plane and just go to Arizona and with a pocket full of money in a backpack and kind of see what Arizona was about. And it's the only thing that I try not to regret anything, because if I regret something, then it means I wanted to change it, and I wouldn't change anything. But the only thing the business didn't provide me for was those long-term benefits that my mother, broke my balls about all those years.
Well, so many young people coming up today working are going to go without those benefits our parents had, right?
Right.
Those are mostly union-based jobs with great retirement benefits, pension benefits, health benefits, and you're seeing less and less of those.
Yeah, it's disappearing. There's no long-term security. You have to make it for yourself.
Absolutely. But,
so I'm pretty lucky.
What is it about perfume that's pulled you in? Like for me, I've gotten, I've met so many wonderful people. I get so much pleasure from perfume. I've been able to start a perfume brand out of, this all. And I don't regret, like you said earlier, you don't have any regrets. I don't have any regrets either. I think everything was necessary to get me to exactly, this moment in time, sitting here with you right now,
Right.
which is, there's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Right.
What is it about perfume that has pulled you in? Hey, Juju, what's up?
I don't know. I've always, I've always been a fan of perfumes and fragrances, but not to this degree. Um, like I said, when I stopped working a couple of years ago, I kind of like, I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do that I'm not working? And I don't know what
Did
made
you
me
did you feel
buy.
lost?
Yeah, I felt kind of like, because like I said, I was an alcoholic. Well, I was that too, but I was a workaholic, and um, I worked 6 days a week, 10 hours a day on end, and I would crash every 6 months to a year and take a vacation. But that's what I did. I worked, and my social scene and my relationships and everything was born out of that work condition. And once I stopped, I was like, what do I do now? You know, I mean, I started reading. I got back in the gym, and then I started one by one just buying fragrances. And then I got on YouTube, of course, and I did the same thing everybody else did. And I saw Steven and Robes and Ashton, and I was like, there's a whole world of this. This is a thing. Fragrance is a thing. And down the rabbit hole I went. I think Santal Royale was the first niche fragrance I bought, and the rest is history.
All right, I've got somebody backstage here. I'm not sure of your guys' dynamic. Are you okay with Mr. Miami Cuddles coming on?
Why not?
Yeah. All right. Let's bring on. I'm not sure how he got on here. He's blocked on this channel. Hello, Neil.
Hey, what's up, man?
It's good to see you.
Shout out to your fragrance. It's beautiful. It's awesome. And I have a new fragrance. Shout out to my buddy Aram. This is the most beautiful bottle. I don't have my lights on, but what is it? PR Cardin? Shit, I gotta turn lights on. Shit. Sorry. I don't want
It's
to
a
curse
good
on your stream.
fragrance.
It's funny, like you don't know the dynamics, but you always come on my stream. Eugene, are you ashamed of me? Yeah, but anyway, it's
No,
called
I'm not
Enigma or
ashamed of you at
something.
all. But I
We're
want to
buddies.
make sure that you and Jonathan are all right.
Jonathan's cool, man. I mean, listen, 2020. I'm sort of like I don't mean anything, I was speaking with Caleb earlier this morning, or a couple hours ago, and they're like, oh, like Alex, the perfume guy. We're talking about him, and I said he's boring. I said, yeah, but what do you think about him as a person? I said I like him. We agree with a lot of things. I like him as a person, but it's like it is what it is, man. I love Danim. I think he's a good, wholesome person, and I was a little, dude. We love streams. I want to make streamers better. I'm a consumer as well as a producer, but more, I'm worried about. I don't want to be bored on a stream. To be honest with you.
Okay, so do you feel like you want to come into everybody's stream and help them improve in some way?
You're already a master. I mean, you're a Zen master, man. That's what
I don't,
Kevin calls you.
I don't see my streams as needing to be improved because I enjoy them for what they are.
Yeah.
They're exactly what I want them to be, and that's kind of the way I steer them. I don't know if somebody's interested, they're more than welcome to stick around and watch. And if not, there's so many other streams usually that they have the freedom
now a
to
lot
choose.
of people are streaming. Now you said something very controversial.
Did I?
Like perfume is above money. The way you worded it was.
You think that's controversial?
I mean, money pays the bills. Money, I could build a PC without a PC or without a phone or whatever. You can't do these videos. You need other things. You need to pay your medical bills. There's a lot more than perfume. And I love my samples. Shout out to Anuj Patel and Shante Perfumes. Yeah, he's a good guy. He sent me some samples, and I really appreciate them.
Listen, money is we need money to pay our bills, and it's part of this society that we have. And but money doesn't bring me happiness. Having money doesn't bring me happiness. You know what brings me more happiness than acquiring money is giving it away. I enjoy sharing. I've come into some money and I enjoy sharing it with people. It makes me happy to watch. I ran into a homeless man last week on Sunday, behind the gas station, and he left me bawling in tears. I spent a couple of minutes with him, and I wasn't sure whether I was pumping gas, and I saw him behind the gas station eating out of a bag. And I wanted to approach him and talk to him, but I wasn't sure, like, just because I felt sorry for him. I didn't know whether he felt sorry for himself. So I went over and I said, hello, are you okay? Is everything okay? And he said, well, he was an old man, homeless, because he had his sleeping bag out there. And I said, do you need some money? He's like, do you have some? I had $20 in my pocket.
I got some perfume. Though.
I had $20 in my pocket, and I gave it to him, and he started crying. He started crying. I said, stay strong, hopefully this will pass. And it made me emotional. I said, just straight out, I said, I love you. And he's like, I love you too. And in that moment, I had like one of the deepest connections I've ever had with a human being. And it lasted 5 minutes, but it was very emotional for me. It made me happy that I could make somebody else happy, even if it was just for a brief moment. So, helping somebody and even giving money away made me extremely happy.
Now, if you would have given him a bottle of Drakkar Noir, do you think he would have been as happy?
No. But he doesn't value perfume the same way I do.
Exactly.
But at the same time, that interaction left me a little bit sad. And driving home, like, I was crying because it made me emotional, but it made me feel guilty for the things that I had in my life because I was comparing myself to him, which isn't my fault for having, it's not my fault for having nice things.
That goes back to being appreciative of what you have. I mean, I've talked about this with you before. You got to be appreciative. Go to any downtown, like in Miami by the hospitals. If you go under the intersection over there, there's a lot of homeless people, and some of them aren't alcoholics. Some of them are, just intense, and they look like they lost everything with this crappy economy. But I'm not going to get into Bidenomics. Sorry, wrong stream. But yeah, listen, it's tough, man, and you could see the hurt. And they're out there reading books. There's homeless people actually reading books, and it's unbelievable. But there's a lot of substance abuse, and just people just sleeping on the sidewalk, no jacket, nothing. It's hot. I mean, Miami's like 85, 90 degrees, high humidity, and it's like miserable. I can't even, it's miserable. And I'm like, damn, that's a tough life, man.
Yeah, man. We're all facing different challenges out there. We all have a different world, and we see things in a different way. So
I always think you got to save for a rainy day. I
think it's nice to be nice to other people and see them for the pain that they're in without judging them. But Jonathan, you mentioned something earlier about drinking a lot on your job, or do you know what it was that you were were you drinking away some pain? Were you suffering from something? What was it that drove you to consume alcohol?
I guess 2013, I went to rehab down in West Palm Beach, and it was a combination of drinking and smoking weed and opiates, popping pills, and I'd been doing that for the better part of my 30s, into my early 40s, and I just I don't know, just years of ripping and running, and kind of used the drugs to prop myself up to keep running, keep working, keep traveling, keep doing whatever it was I was doing. And until I kind of I ran out of steam, I went down to Florida and went to a really nice rehab and got involved with a program down there. And I stayed there. I stayed there for better part of 7 years because I didn't want to leave Florida until I straightened my life out and figured out exactly what you just asked me. What was it that made me drink and do drugs and fill myself up, fill that hole? What was I trying to fill up? What was I trying to do?
Did you find the answer?
Yeah, I found a lot of good answers. A lot of it stemmed from childhood. A lot of it was anger issues, unresolved anger issues, unresolved resentments from my past, different different abusive situations, and kind of angry. The last half of the anger issues, like the early frustration and regret and resentment that you have from childhood that you can't quite put your finger on, you can't quite quantify it, but it's a pain that's there. What I could identify was the anger I had towards myself of not doing some of the things that I set out to do, and disappointing your parents and not meeting goals and not quite living up. And my parents and my family have had kind of a high standard of what they wanted from me, and I don't think anybody's a stranger to that. But making mistakes when I was younger and kind of falling short of what they wanted, then getting angry, then kind of trying to forge ahead on this broken path and trying to make something of that instead of trying to do things a healthy, positive, smart way. I kind of tried to, run through a brick wall of, whatever I thought the world was, had a lot of anger issues. I thought the world owed me something. I thought everybody was stupid. I thought I was the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, chip on your shoulder.
Chip on my shoulder. I wanted to fight at the drop of a hat.
It all sounds familiar.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out like why everybody was giving me such a hard time.
Did you feel growing up that you could be the person you were around your parents, or you had to be a specific way to be viewed by them or to fit in, or felt like you'd be judged for doing certain things? Were you able to express yourself the way you felt
and that was a lot of the frustration, is that I think not in a bad way and not in a I don't know how to explain, not in a way that was malicious in any way. They did their absolute best, and I have the best parents in the world, and they're still alive, and I'm very grateful for them. And they saw me through all that other nonsense, but they tried to fit me into something that I wasn't, and I rebelled against that, and some terrible, terrible battles with my mom, and kind of. I wasn't like them, but I wasn't so far unlike them that they couldn't, support or, nurture the different direction that I wanted to go in. So, it's, I'm not as conservative and measured and calculating as they are. It's kind of a free spirit, and that was kind of thought of it as bad,
Like, can I say something? The restaurant business is sort of a toxic environment. They go out, they drink after. It's like, I wanted to get out of that environment. I got out of the Air Force. We were all talking, like, we would sit down and say, man, when I get out, I want to go to college. I hung out with my friends. They were all lawyers, doctors, and, law school. And it was the people I was hanging around that, like, I'm going to be like them. I'm going to get my college degree. It was only education. But like, I saw that environment. The restaurant business is like everybody sort of like they didn't see a future, and I'm like, I'm getting out of this. I saw the writing on the wall, and it's not to put down anybody, but I just saw it like I don't want to be at a certain age, as a waiter or whatever. I just like, I don't know. That's not who I want to be. So
Yeah, but
I
that's
went
for
to
you.
college.
That's
No,
for,
no,
that's
I
for
know, I
you.
know. But yeah,
That's
so
for you.
I just saw the whole restaurant business is toxic. The people you hang around, everybody's drinking, and drinking is bad, man. I know Whiskey Reaper, he makes videos about it like, this is good and this is, dude, I know many people that have gone through Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's like, it's not a fucking joke. It's not a fucking joke to start drinking. It's not, I don't see it as casual. It's not like a casual fun thing. Maybe you go out to a bar or anything. It's serious shit. It's fucking toxic. It's poison to your liver. It's poison to your body. Don't put that shit in there. So that's how I looked at it, and so that was my goal, was to go to college, get all this, and so I was kind of self-motivated. I wanted to do it for myself, but you didn't want to better yourself, and you wanted to sort of.
See, that's the way I used
But
to
it's
view the
the
world.
people.
Well,
But
no,
dude,
no, wait a
it's the
minute, wait a
people
minute,
you
wait a
hang
minute.
around. It's the people
Hang
you
on,
hang
hang
around.
on. There are pieces and parts of my late teens, early 20s that I'm not sharing here
Okay.
that pushed me in a different direction. So you're kind of speaking out of turn. So if everybody gets to somewhere because of whatever they've been through, and I'm not going to share all of that on the stream
Okay.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's okay.
so I have the same motivations and the same. I went to school and I got sent to private school and I was groomed for college, and I decided against that because of something that had happened back then.
Oh.
Okay, so I got sent to a different direction because of different circumstances. So I'm omitting that, which you can assume what you like, but people get to where they get to, not necessarily because of bad intentions or laziness or I don't want to have my shit together.
But it has a lot to
And
do with who you're hanging around too.
In fact, I'm kind of glad I went the direction I went, because it allowed me all the great experiences I've had. It allowed me all the friends that I have now, all the traveling I've done.
Yeah, traveling is cool.
It's allowed me a lot of great things, and it allowed me to get to the bottom of what was wrong with me, and allowed me to get to the point where I found the strength to fix myself. And if I hadn't done that, if I had gone down the 9 to 5, 2.5 kids, picket fence life, I might have killed myself by this age.
Well, yeah,
you understand?
yeah.
So everything happens for a reason.
Military
I'm in
was
a
good.
position
Military
right now
wasn't
in
easy, but
go ahead,
yeah.
Neil. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying military wasn't easy, but I learned a lot. I made friends. We all kind of picked each other's brains, and like, what do you want to do when you get out? So it kind of like opened my eyes, because when I graduated high school, I was like a D student. I had, no aspirations to go to college, and everybody was going to college, and I just went to the Air Force. But when I sat down with the guys, we were talking about like bettering ourselves, and you kind of didn't have that, where you'd have your peers where you would talk about bettering yourself, and that's what we did. We talked about like, this is our dream. What are your dreams? And I don't know.
But what's your definition of bettering yourself?
Sometimes to better yourself, you
make
need
more
to go
money.
Is your definition of bettering yourself materially, or is your
you need money to
bettering
live,
yourself
man.
personally?
You need money to. Well, it was also like, okay, I wanted to achieve certain things. I wanted
Materially.
to achieve. No, it was like what's the word I'm looking for? It was something I wanted to achieve, and I didn't know if I could do it. Well, no, not teaching isn't a lot of money, but I wanted to get the bachelor's degree because all my friends had doctorates, and I just was like, damn, I felt left behind. And these are the people. Yeah, I felt less than. Yeah, and I said, you know what? But at least I'm going to get a college degree, and I knew.
Did you feel better after the college degree?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I felt a
Yeah.
lot better. And then I got a job right away. Yeah. I felt a lot better. Like I achieved something.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that worked for you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes to better your life, you need to actually go through this shit and let it
Yeah.
harden you up. But that's what it was required from me to hit this rock bottom. And when my partner left, it kind of broke me. And from there, I was able to heal and repair, and it gave me an opportunity to become a new person. It gave me an opportunity to become whoever I wanted, almost like a fresh start. But I want to ask Jonathan, because he's talked about going on those bingers and stuff, like what was your breaking point? What was your what happened for you to decide to put yourself in a place where you can get help? What kind of things were you going through?
Well, I couldn't. I was very good at hiding what I was doing. I maintained my life with a nice place to live. I had a nice truck. I had a good job. I was making good money. I had a nice social life, and it wasn't a lot of the toxicity that you might have experienced for yourself, Neil. For me, I experienced a lot of good people over the years in the restaurant business, but towards the end, it was a combination of working too much, um, not taking care of myself, not eating right, um, and to get the engine started, the drugs and alcohol got turned up. And so the more that gets turned up, the more everything else gets ignored. So things started to fall down around me, and I couldn't hide it anymore. People close to me uh, had the nerve to tell me about myself. And, I dropped a lot of weight. Got down to, I was down to like 170, 165, 170. I looked like hell. I was missing car payments. My truck was falling apart. Paying bills started to get difficult, and,
You need
and
money.
I
Yeah.
couldn't hide it anymore. I couldn't hide that I was, destroying myself, and I couldn't work enough to get myself out of the hole. So I had just my lease ended at my condo, and I moved in with a friend, and I was like, "What am I doing?" I didn't even unpack from that move, and I was just like, I confluence of serendipitous events to got me in touch with a guy that ran a rehab down in South Florida, and asked me if I wanted it, and I did. And he asked me how much I wanted it because I had to be there in 2 days after he told me about it. So that meant I had to get rid of my truck. I had to part with all of my stuff. I had to tell my parents about it, and then I had to just get on a train and go. And I did, and that's the best decision I ever made.
Yeah,
You know,
good
what
move, man.
what
Good
was
move.
getting clean like for you physically, mentally, spiritually? What kind of
The
things
physical
did you
part
go
was easy, and not easy, but the physical part was the least of the hard work. Um, Getting clean took a month. Getting feeling better took 6 months to a year. But then there was all the other stuff. Once you put your body back together, you start eating right. You're not doing drugs. You're not drinking. Start exercising. I was in this Florida sun, riding a bike every day. After a year, I was feeling good physically, but I had to, and I was kind of doing the program kind of half-assed because I still had that mentality that I was the smartest guy in the room and nobody could tell me anything. I wasn't humble. You know, uh, I didn't think anybody could tell me anything I didn't know. And I had this old Jewish guy that I had become friends with who was really kind of an asshole, which is exactly what I needed at that time. He told me this one thing that kind of really rung my bell is that you can't fix what's in your head with what's in your head. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to get humble. I had to shut my mouth. I had to listen to some direction. I had to do some of that work that you got to do to dredge up the past that you may not even know is there, and you need somebody else to do that with. You need to throw your stuff out on the table, and you need to have somebody else help you sort through the wreckage in order to find the sources of the pain that you went through. Because once you shine a light on something, it's hard for it to hurt you anymore. Once you're aware of something is there, it's easier to manage. It's easier to deal with. It's easier to eradicate. So after a couple of years of working with that guy, kind of started feeling better about life, started being grateful for the little things, started to rebuild relationships, started to live in a more honest and humble way, kind of not take anything for granted, not be a jerk off all the
It's
time.
amazing how being honest keeps you out of trouble, even though it's sometimes it's hard to be honest and have an honest conversation with a friend, and it's a hard conversation, but it's better to have that hard moment then than have something extremely chaotic afterwards. But once you got cleaned up, did you ever go back to the lifestyle, to revisit that lifestyle that got you into that mess? Like, did you visit those scenes?
I went from New Jersey down to Florida, and I stayed in Florida for 7, almost 8 years. I didn't go back to Jersey for at least the first 3 years I was down there. My parents live in Tennessee, so I would go visit them, but I stayed in Florida. I stayed in the middle of that, that culture of recovery. And I've gone back to New Jersey since to visit friends, like good longtime friends, but I won't stay in New Jersey for any period of time. It's a mess in New Jersey.
Environmental factors mean everything, man. That's
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it did help. It did help being in South Florida. I think it was just a combination of things, just being in the sun and just changing the environment and getting serious, getting honest with myself. And I
like what that Jewish guy said. Yeah.
Here, you can't fix what's in your head with what's in your head. You need outside. You need outside help.
Yeah.
And
you can't fix yourself if you stay in the same place that fucked you up.
Yeah, right. And the same thought processes and the same ego and the same attitude that you had before, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to change everything to change everything.
Damn, the ego's a tricky thing, man. It's a mind fuck. It is
real
a
tricky.
Mind fuck.
And it's easy to slip back too. It's easy to slip back and think you know it all and think you got it all figured out. And then life comes and punches you in the mouth and knocks you down. It takes something away from you, or you know what I mean?
It'll life will humble you quickly.
Yeah. Life will bend your knee, whether you like it or not. So you might as well bend your knee. And here we are 10 years on, and I'm, I've never been happier. Grateful for everything I have. I feel good about life. Not even Neil can piss me off. 10 years ago, I probably would have gone on a killing spree.
Oh shit.
Neil, you got all your shit figured out? You happy?
I mean, happy, yeah. I mean, I'm content. I'm appreciative.
I think being content is more important than chasing happiness.
Yeah. I agree.
Content is neutral.
What is happiness?
Chase happiness. You constantly need to be doing something or chasing something or desiring.
Contentment is the right word.
Yeah.
Content is just that neutral state. You're neither up nor down. Content is just being present.
Yeah.
But what kind of things are making you happy these days? What do you look forward to?
I look forward just to sit here in my air conditioning place and have a working camera and a working microphone and talking with friends.
How's my mic sound, Neil?
Good, man. Good. No, I mean, I'm glad you want to, we've Jonathan and me have had it out, and he's been the smartest guy in the room in his head. But I just thought it was cool. I said, oh shit, Jonathan's on.
There's a lot of wisdom right there with Jonathan. The guy's lived an interesting life. And the best part is he's learned.
What,
He's made a lot of mistakes, just like myself, but he's
when you
been able
make
to
the
learn.
mistakes, yeah, you know, like when you're really
But
down,
I also
it's
believe
like you
that
really appreciate, you know,
in this life there are no such thing as mistakes. They're just simply learning lessons.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
it's all relative. Like the homeless people, the guy, you know, if you gave him a house and it didn't have air conditioner, but he could sleep on a bed at night, he would be appreciative of it, you know. And
Mm.
you know, it's, you know, you can't compare yourself to, you know. Let me tell you, I had a tattoo and I had it laser surgery off, right? And the guy burnt me, right? My dermatologist, and he said to me, "Why would you ever get a tattoo?" And I was like, I don't know, I was stupid, right? 2 days later, the guy in Aventura jumped off the 22nd story, you know, and committed suicide. And you know, for me, I looked, I said, man, this guy would never do anything stupid like that. And then I found out he actually did something. He killed himself, and and it was also. I used to work with a guy. We were team teachers because we worked with severely emotionally disturbed kids, and he moved up, and he moved up to AP, assistant principal, and I was like, damn man, this guy has it all together. And he went to jail for the rest of his life for murdering his girlfriend. So I mean, you know, don't look. It's just like, you know, you might say, oh, this guy has it all together. It's, you know, be just content with what you have. That's it.
Yeah, you shouldn't be comparing yourself to anybody. They say
Exactly.
that comparison is the thief of all joy,
Yeah.
because you
Just
want
be
what
content.
somebody else has and you're not happy with
Like,
yourself.
yeah, like I see
With
all
what
those beautiful fragrances behind you. I'm
Right.
like,
Don't compare yourself,
I don't need
this is
all of them. I'm content with what I
yeah,
have. I mean, I like my samples and I'm content with it.
and that's
And
fine.
I get to smell it and
That's
you
the
know,
most important thing, that you're happy or
exactly.
content with what you have and you don't desire, the things that other people have.
Like I know you asked me, oh, what was your latest purchase? And I just happened to purchase something, but I'm thinking to myself, but what if I did purchase anything? You know, like you asked me one time, what's your latest purchase? And if I didn't purchase anything, I would said I'm content with what I have. It's not always about the next fix, you know, the next, you know, because you have so many, and those are good fragrances. You know, those Chanel exclusives, they're amazing. You know, I smell a lot of them, and it's like a lot better than what I have. But I'm content with what I have. I'm satisfied with it. I don't need all that. I don't, you know. If you said, "Oh, you got to get your nose on this, you got to pick this up," I'm like, I don't need it.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, and I kind of feel that way about something you were saying earlier about drugs and alcohol, and I think there's nothing wrong with having a drink or some drinks or smoking a little bit of pot or going out to parties, as long as it's within moderation and you realize where that's coming from. That's very different than having, let's say, an addiction or an abuse problem, right?
You want more. You want more. You want, like, oh, I want to feel better, so I'm gonna go drink, or I'm gonna do something. I want more. I want more. You know. I think the whole drinking.
Well, you don't want more necessarily as much as you want less of the feelings that you're having.
Yeah, yeah. You want to kill the
You
pain or
want to
whatever.
anesthetize whatever it is you're
But
feeling.
yeah, exactly. But I'm like, I'm not in pain. Like I could walk every day, and exercise is great for pain, and like, you know, like my heart was hurting because I was taking care of my mom and doing all this stuff, and I went on elliptical for 20 minutes. So whatever. Some people say, "Oh, only 20 minutes." I don't care. I do my push-ups on my knees, but it makes me feel better. I'm bettering myself. I'm not, you know, one of these guys who's going to go on the elliptical hardcore for 2 hours. I do what I can do, and it makes me feel better, and I'm content with it.
All right, give me a moment. to introduce
Joey Cannoli. I already know. I could already figure it out.
the Holy Ghost.
Oh fuck! It's
Joey
not even. It's
fucking
not
Cannoli.
even like.
It's over. Just wrap it up right now, folks.
Fourth quarter of the year. I'm seeing Jonathan for the third time. Today's a good day.
Hi, Juju.
Today's a great day.
It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. Jonathan always teaches me. He's always got wisdom. Says to be grateful. He's always positive. It's always inspiring. He's been that way since I met him years ago, and he's definitely one of my favorite people that I know. So, shout out to you.
Yeah, it's great. Some people just have that energy, you know, and you feel it, you hear it, you see it, and you want some of that. You want to be around it. And then there's other people, and you feel like your fucking energy is being depleted as they just walk by you, and you're like, oh, why do I feel so drained all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Right?
Energy vampires.
Yeah.
Energy
There's
vampires.
definitely
right?
vampires out there. But energy is a thing, man.
Is it raining in Wisconsin?
Yes.
Okay, I was curious.
Neil came up with an original joke. I like
it's raining
that.
right now, actually. I don't know. Yeah.
That's not a joke. It was a question.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. How's Juju doing?
Everybody ought to be on the floor.
She's doing better.
I'm doing good.
She's doing better.
I got a pink drink.
You look good.
I do. No, I feel a lot better. As soon as I was discharged from the hospital, I've been on prednisone. I've been taking my medication and all my multivitamins, and every day I just feel a lot better. This is my third day back from work today. And yeah, no, I noticed a big improvement in my breathing quality and just being more active. So
was it related to the C-19?
So I got I had COVID in August. And when I had that, I already had compromised lungs because of my asthma. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want to make it all about me right now, but
no, but yeah, I know someone it happened to the same thing, and they have asthma as well.
It started off with my lungs being compromised from COVID, from already being bad with asthma. I had a cold a week ago, and the cold turned into an asthma attack, which is very rare. I don't normally get asthma attacks from colds. I'll get maybe a little bit of an upper respiratory infection, but it was bad to the point where I had to go to urgent care.
Yeah.
And then when I went to urgent care, I had a dingus of a doctor who pretty much made me overdose on albuterol.
Oh, fuck.
And so I ended up having like I passed out, almost threw up. I got lightheaded, and I was sweating in the bathroom. And I had told Joey to call 911. And then my heart rate went from like 110 and then dropped to like in the mid 50s. It was terrifying.
Fuck urgent care. Okay, sorry.
And I had a couple of incidences in the emergency room as well of like my body going through like some severe shock of just the amount of steroids in my system. But they got me better. The emergency room, all the doctors were excellent. And they got me all up and at it. So I'm just going to be continuing to take care of myself, and just working at my own pace and getting myself back to where I was. But it did originally stem from a minor cold, but I want to say my lungs are still bad from having COVID.
There's still, but the liquid is all gone. You had liquid inside, no?
Fluid.
Yes.
It sounds almost like a pneumonia or something.
No, they took a chest x-ray, and I had no infection. I had no bronchitis, no pneumonia. It was just asthma, and it was just the inflammation in the brachial tubes of your lungs that were inflamed, and they were holding liquid. And a lot of it, I had to cough. Like I had to get it out of my system, which was causing the wheezing. But I was having unproductive coughs, so I had to go under more steroids, which is more prednisone, to get rid of the inflammation. And I do breathing exercises every day just to force myself to cough and clear it out. But it's my I can breathe, and I don't feel anything as much in there. I cough once in a while, but I'm doing a lot better. I would say I'm about 97% better.
All right, I'm glad that you're feeling much better, and it's good to see you up and standing and healthy. But I got to ask you like a very hypothetical question.
Okay.
Say things went south and
What the
you
fuck?
left us and Joey gets remarried. Do you haunt him?
What the fuck?
I would definitely troll him
Oh,
You would troll him?
because I would do. That's like a thing. That's like a
Yeah.
reminder. Be like,
Would you scratch on the walls at night while he's sleeping or something? Do you have a thing?
you can do whatever you want. I want you to be happy, but just remember, I'm here. I'm watching you. Behave yourself. No, because I feel like that he would do the same thing to me. If roles were reversed,
He probably would.
upside down around the house just to troll me, hiding shit purposely or something along those lines. Excuse us, but yeah. So it's that's just love. That's our relationship between us.
No, that's good. I'm glad to see that you're good. You're standing. You're happy. You're healthy.
Yes, thank you, and I'm happy that I'm able to at least say that like I've overcome this and it's slowly getting better. Like last thing I want is to be like pretty much like almost bedridden. Like it's very hard, especially when it comes down to asthma. Don't mess with it. Like it's your breathing. And what really sucks about asthma is like the medication. Everything is so expensive for you to breathe. Like in order to breathe, like the medication, like your drops all over $100, sometimes $300 a month on just like your medication for breathing.
Dude, life is expensive. It costs to live.
It really does.
Basic necessities.
And what's funny is like I've had asthma my entire life, and I a specialist for it for years, and my asthma's been controlled for years. Since I was like,
that's all it took was a notification to go through.
Triggered him, and Juju's not even talking in all caps.
Yeah, I
mean,
think it was the
sometimes I
notification.
do. Like I'm very.
Bye, Neil.
Bye,
Neil.
Bye, Neil.
But yeah, no, I've had asthma my entire life. And the last flare-up I had was back in 2015, and it's been controlled ever since. It was COVID that ended up really messing me up. And it's like it's not a joke, especially for those that had COVID and are like prone to asthma and things like that. It's very scary. Very, very scary. But yeah, no, I'm happy that I'm happy that we're all good. Joey's been taking good care of me too.
Well,
like coming out of the hospital, the first thing this boy went and did was dust and vacuum and get all the allergens out of the house and started making me breakfast. I was like, "Ooh, I might get used to this."
I'm pretty sure he's relieved now that you're fully back. And
yes. But Joey takes care of me regardless. We take care of each other. But I appreciated him more than anything for all the lengths and leaps and bounds that he went for to help me out. So
awesome.
My man.
Beautiful to see that. And Juju, red is definitely your color.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm trying to get myself ready because we're going to be heading out, going on our honeymoon on Monday. So we have to start packing up our stuff. We're going to Disney World, y'all.
Very nice. Very nice. Has Joey started packing yet, or is he last?
Joey's done.
I don't mess around when it comes to trips. I don't need that stress anymore. When I know I have something to do, I just do it. I don't wait.
I wait like last minute.
When I was younger, I would do that, and the older I get, I just don't want to deal with any of the bullshit anymore. And it's so much more rewarding to be like, oh, I don't need to pack. I already did that Monday. When I knew I had a week to go, I'm like, I'm not going to do this Sunday night, Saturday. I'm not going to, God forbid something comes up, and then you get distracted. So I've been packed since Monday. And throughout the week, I've just been writing lists and things down of what we need, what we're forgetting, emergency stuff, things like that. It's been a pretty chaotic last 2 weeks.
Luckily, I work retail, and I can always pick up stuff around.
No, absolutely.
I know I'm the worst procrastinator of all time in all history, so this is Joey's way of low-key telling me, Lisa, just shut up and just go into the bedroom and go and pack up your stuff. And I'm going to go do that. So I will leave that to you guys to talk. It was nice seeing you.
Thanks for coming
Much
on, Juju.
love.
It's always
I'll
great
bopping
seeing you,
around back and forth in the
for
background.
sure. But guys, you two guys, what is so great about procrastinating that we're just like we can't shake it?
It's easy to do. When things are easy, you don't really contemplate it.
But isn't it a killer of everything? It's the killer of
Absolutely.
the moment, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's the killer of the past, the present, and the future.
Yeah.
It's a constant reaction. Yeah, procrastination.
Where does that come from? Is it fear that we
Yeah,
lose
I was
ourselves?
just getting ready to say.
Absolutely. Distraction,
Yeah. What?
right? When you have so much on your plate and there's something you know you need to do, but it doesn't need to be done now, but you have enough time to do it, and then you push it off till it's too late. And no matter how many lessons and how many times we find ourselves in panic, fight or flight mode because we procrastinated, we continue to do it time after time.
I low-key just love the excitement of chaos.
So I hate no, like she's not joking when she says that.
I
Julissa
do
is
too,
chaos.
actually.
I don't want chaos. Not anymore.
Chaos.
Not anymore. I need as much
Clarity.
as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older now, but I feel like when I was younger, it didn't affect me as much, and now it's like, why am I procrastinating?
You're feeling
like,
it now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hitting a lot more, and I'm like, absolutely not. And
Joey turned 30, and all of a sudden he wants to be real responsible. Oh boy!
It's not for me. She thinks it's funny, but like one day, I just woke up one day and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
It's weird because procrastination is literally like the absence of awareness, but I'm absolutely aware that I'm procrastinating. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like I've been doing
For
nothing.
me, it's the opposite of action.
Yeah, totally.
For me, I feel like there's a switch, and sometimes I switch it on, and sometimes I say, "Fuck that switch." But it's like I either have to do one of two things. I have to either procrastinate, be lazy, do everything at the last minute, or I have to flip the switch and do action all the time, and like stay ahead of the curve, keep doing things, get things done, and I don't know. Once the switch is put on, then I'm like, why am I moving around so much? Why am I, why am I being so crazy? Why am I trying to get everything done in one day?
Right.
Got to find the balance.
Yeah, balance is the key.
You said it earlier, moderation.
Yeah.
Moderation and balance.
To everything. I find myself sometimes slip into it where I can't pull myself out, but there's other times I was like, I'm just going to check this one thing and I'll check out in a few minutes. But that one thing turns into many other things.
Correct.
I'm like, I'm fucking so checked out. Like, what am I doing? Why am I wasting I've got so many more important things to do. Why am I wasting my time? But it feels good. It feels good. It's to run away.
Yeah. But I always prove to myself every single time that even though what you just said feels good, that procrastinating and doing things that are leisure, when I take action, I get things done and I get things accomplished, or I improve something, or do something that builds value in whatever it is I'm doing. I always inevitably feel so much better. The end result is so much better than that leisure pleasure.
Yeah. And Galen says, remember when I said this live stream would only go for a few minutes? This might be me procrastinating. Who knows? But I did say that. I just wanted to come on quickly and say hello. But Joey knows probably better than anyone how these streams can get carried away. When I started this stream and hit go live, I had no idea that Jonathan would visit us. I had no idea that Neil would show up here, that Juju would grace us with her presence, and Joey. You have no fucking idea what happened. Is that Minnie Mouse? You have no idea what life brings to your pathway. And that's kind of the beauty of it.
I was listening to you guys' conversation and Jonathan started getting real candid and personal. And I don't think I've ever had this conversation with him. So I was immediately drawn in and I just wanted to hear how he got to where he is, what he went through, you know. And I totally understand not wanting to share every single, you know, trauma or thing that had happened. We're live, right? I get it.
Yeah. And
Right.
you don't need to, but
I need to hear this conversation right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
I came on here because you know, I
But see,
respect you guys a lot.
most people will sit and listen and draw something from it and get to know me a little bit better. But then there are some people, like our friend Neil, who will try to fill in the blanks with their assumptions, and that's where I kind of come off the rails with Neil. You know, like I
Sure.
like him, and he seems like he has the potential, but. And then he starts doing stuff like that, and I just want to fucking slam my microphone on the desk and go berserk.
Take your hands and fist and start banging things around. Well, that's Neil, right? Like this has been Neil since we've met him, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough
Well,
situation.
they say when you find somebody that aggravates you, it's usually some pieces and parts of yourself reflecting back at you. So whenever I see Neil and whenever he aggravates me, I try to pick out what is it that's aggravating me about this guy, because it's something unresolved with me. You know, like since I went to speaking of what did I do to get to where I'm at, when I went down to that program and I started working with that guy, you know, he was like, don't look anywhere else but in the mirror for what's wrong. What needs to be fixed? What's happening? Where are you going? Where you been? What do you need to do? The only place you ever need to look is in the mirror. You'll find all the answers you need to find. So that's what I try to do now. And I didn't do it then. I was, you know, back then I always thought I was right. Everybody else was wrong. But more often than not, I'm the one that's wrong and need to right myself with my perception or with my attitude or with my whatever.
At that time in your life, did you find that you needed to cut certain people out in order to progress?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's absolute. I mean, I lopped off a whole 75% of the people that I had in my life. I'm fortunate that I had a nice core group of friends, and of course I'm grateful for my family that I had and still have. But yeah, I had to cut out a whole section of people that, you know, and I don't do the victim thing. Those people didn't do anything to me. I engaged with them in what they were doing. You know what I mean? Like they didn't pour anything onto me or set me on fire with their negativity. I engaged with what they were doing. So I had to extract myself out of what they were doing in order to put myself on the tracks, you know?
Yeah. But you'll notice that when you're going through changes like that and you're trying to be the best version of yourself, those people that need to be cut out, they'll eventually walk themselves out. They'll leave on their own when they
because you're not doing what they're doing.
Right. You don't fit in.
Yeah. And they don't have a cosign to their bullshit anymore. You know?
Do you think a lot of that had to do, you know, when you said that you were never wrong, you think a lot of that had to do with just being young? Is that like a young person's mentality where it's like you hit a certain age and you start seeing people as people and no longer as like adults or elders, where like when you're a kid, you kind of listen, you assume that they have it all figured out. And then you realize most people don't have it figured out. So why would I listen to anything these people have to say? Do you think that's like is that the child's mentality where you feel that you're right and everyone's wrong? What do you think that was?
If that's the case, then I stayed a child for a long time.
Yeah.
I think part of it is we all want to be seen, and then there's certain parts of you or this character that you play that gets a lot more recognition than other characters that you play. So when you put on that character and you get a response from people, it's an attention, and from there behaviors form, patterns form, and you start becoming this person that's expected of you to be seen, right? Nobody wants.
I just felt like
exactly right.
I felt like when I hit 18 or 19, I had that same mentality, Jonathan. I started almost like you had a chip on your shoulder, right? And everyone else was wrong. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe like for me, I just assumed it was because I was still so young. I don't know. I'm
I
trying to
think
figure it out.
I spent the first 35 years of my life building onto this frame, like what I thought I should be, or what I thought they wanted me to be, or what I thought
Expectations.
this person wanted me to
Yeah.
be, or or what I wanted the world to perceive me as. And I erected this monster of a person, and from 35, well, I would have to say my early 40s till now, I've spent the last 10, 12 years deconstructing and stripping away all of the bullshit.
That you built up.
So,
Right.
so now,
Unbecoming.
Yeah, I don't, there's nothing to hide. I don't have anything that I wouldn't share out loud. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed of anything. I don't think myself better or worse than anybody. You like it or you leave it. Um, I'm sure I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but everybody's not my cup of tea. So say
That's
la vie.
normal.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
Right?
As
That's
long as
okay.
you're not harming anyone or nobody's harming you.
Right. Right. I like the outlook I have now. I is as long as I'm grateful, I receive more to be grateful for. And that sounds hokey, but I've been practicing it for a lot of years now, and it works. It works.
What are you practicing?
If I stay in this gratitude, if I stay in an attitude of gratitude, I'm always grateful for every little thing. I receive more to be grateful for.
Yeah.
If I lose that gratitude in any way for even a split second, I'll get tripped up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the only thing I practice. I mean, I practice other things, but that is one of the main things that I just stay grateful for what I have. I don't lose sight of anything. I don't take anything for granted, or anyone for that matter, because people are a big part of my life. I don't think any of us are one person. Or maybe some people are one person, but I'm not one person.
Mhm.
I'm my family, I'm my girlfriend, I'm my friends, I'm my associates, I'm the people that I
We're a
associate.
product
That's
of
your
what we.
personality. Your
Yeah.
personality is made up of all of the experiences that you
Exactly.
had. That's your ego. That's how you believe people perceive you as. That's the character that your ego plays.
We're a product of our surroundings. Every person leaves an impression, leaves an imprint on us, affects us in a certain way, and we carry it with us subliminally. I don't even think we realize it sometimes,
No.
but we pick up on so many different things.
Well, I think we're all linked together, and I think the mistake is to not think that you can positively influence someone and someone can positively influence you, or
Mhm.
conversely, like Eugene was saying, some people pass by you with their energy vacuum, and you know what I mean. So you
They suck you dry.
make sure who you're connecting with is on the same wavelength, and that energy can kind of grow.
Mhm.
I also feel like as a man, I really troubled to perceive the world as it truly was, and just kind of viewing it through my point of life and not understanding other people or seeing them for what they were feeling or needing. And it took me a long time to kind of undo or unbecome that person that I was. I think that is part of kind of shedding the ego, is not becoming a specific person, but unbecoming who you think you are, what is expected of you, what people's expectations are from you, like parents or a partner or your
Mhm.
Right.
coworkers, or
I was really surprised to learn how much of what had developed that pained me happened before I was 7.
Wow.
You know what I mean? From like maybe even 10 years and younger. So much stuff that you drag into your adulthood that you just do not even understand
Mm,
until someone helps you look at it. And then once you look at it and you connect the dots of how you got from childhood to teenage to 20 to 40 and and beyond, where you're like, how did I not see this? how did I not break this chain of, whatever was hindering me, but I guess you get there when you get there, as long as you get there.
Well, that's when we're shaped. That is that age, and once you become conditioned, whatever it
That's
is
it.
you're doing becomes normalized for you,
It's a
even if
lock.
it's
Yeah.
wrong.
The formative years, they call it, right? Those are the ones, the impressionable years. But when you're a kid, you think like a kid, right? And then you carry this with you because it's normal. And
It
then you go
feels
out into
good.
the world and you go,
It's
oh, this is fucked up.
it's familiar.
You mean you guys didn't grow up this way? You mean this wasn't how life was for you? Shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it just becomes
Yeah.
normal. It's a pattern, a behavior, something that you
And you
continue to do
superimpose
day after day.
you
And then you run
superimpose
into
those things
people
you
that
learn.
have that have a very different viewpoint on life, and that's kind of where you get into that headbutting, and then
Mhm.
you start questioning yourself: Am I crazy or is this person crazy?
Right.
Who's right?
Right.
There's two of us here.
Right. Right.
What is it? Walk a mile in another man's shoes to really know what he feels, what he's been
Yeah,
through. How
yeah,
can I understand you if I haven't experienced the things you have and
right.
processed them the way your mind has?
Yeah,
That's the
Well,
whole thing, isn't it?
what
yeah.
I learned is not only how do I know who you are if I haven't experienced you, forget that. How do I know who you are if I don't listen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't.
you have to get to that point,
Because I'll
right?
never experience what you experienced in your life. So I'll never truly understand you unless you tell me. And the opposite side of that is I have to be open and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't listen. They talk and
Yeah.
or they want to be heard, or they
Sure.
wait for you to shut up so they can talk again.
That's
So there's a
exactly
lot of
right.
talkers and not enough listeners.
You're 100% right.
Mm. And how easy is it to listen?
It's
I think to listen is to be
It's a
selfless.
skill. It's
It's a
it's a
skill.
skill that you need to develop. It's not terribly hard to develop, but just make room for the person. Let
It's
them speak and finish before you respond, but
right.
respond to what they're saying and not something that you're fabricating as they're speaking.
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to think of what to say next instead of listening and letting them finish to truly grasp everything they've just shared. And you can always tell. you can always tell
Yeah,
by a
right.
conversation, like you're not even listening to me and I'm confiding in you, right? I'm sharing something personal, intimate, and you're sitting here, thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner later, or you know what I mean, or it's crazy.
That's all people really need. When I was younger and thought I was the smartest guy in the room, I would try to give people advice. But when I got older, what I realized is that person just wanted me to listen. They don't care about any of my advice. They don't care about any of my judgments. All they want is somebody to listen.
that's right.
That's the biggest thing.
Right.
That's the biggest gift you can give somebody, is just to listen. Shut your mouth and listen.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
fosters it too, so that when you need somebody to listen to you, they're there.
Because your way of fixing that is going to be very different than their way, and they don't necessarily want your advice. They just kind of want you to support them in getting there. But
That's
yeah,
Or they want you to be a sounding board or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like in relationships, in my past relationships, that's kind of what it came down to. It wasn't so much that they wanted to hear what I had to say. They just wanted me to hear them, because then right away I think I'm supposed to contribute to this. They're telling me this. They're expecting something of me. Like I'm supposed to give some form of wisdom, right? And if I don't, I'm letting them down. When in reality, it's just like, I just want you to hear me, understand me,
Mm.
But these are little tricks of life that you learn along the way. I'm happy being the age I am because I know the things I know now.
You've been through it already. Yeah.
Do you think not hearing these people or seeing them for their pain or for understanding what they're expressing is kind of like the major cause to these relationships ending?
Well, yeah, because it's a nasty form of selfishness.
Yeah.
You want them to hear you. You want them to experience what you're experiencing. You want them to see you. You want them to do what you want them to do. But
The key word is you, right? You keep
But a
saying
relationship
you.
is two people that both need
It's
to
not me, right? It's not me.
Yeah.
It's us. It's a damn. Yeah.
You have to give. You have to give what you want. You have to be what you want.
You got to be able to express, but you need to be accepted at the same time, and not
Acceptance
everybody
is the
wants to
key.
express.
Acceptance is the key. You don't have to like it or agree with it or even care about it, but as long as you accept it, that's the key to solid acceptance is
So
the key.
why do so many of us give ourselves away and become somebody we're not in order to be accepted? Why do we change?
It goes back to the validation, right? It always comes back to validation. We wanna feel cared about, right? So we have to do certain things for certain people to get what we want. Yeah, that's a slippery slope right there, right?
What you think you want.
What you think, yeah, it's not what you actually, it's not what you need, right? But it's what you think.
Because we're afraid we're afraid that if we just let things happen the way they're going to happen, without that desperate clawing for attention or that particular person or scenario or whatever it is, we're afraid that if we go about our lives, we're not going to get what we need. And inevitably you do. And the older you get, you prove that to yourself. As long as you're authentic and real and you're kind and you treat people the way you want to be treated, you'll get what you need. The people that are like you will be attracted to you. You just have to stay confident in that. And it's easy to get insecure. Even the most confident of people get insecure. Like, you just have to temper that with patience and self-love and self-help and self-communication.
But why is it so hard to give that love to ourselves? Why is it easier to give ourselves away than say, hang on, this doesn't, like, there's something wrong here. This person's pushing me away. Why would I rather change and be somebody I'm not in order to be accepted by them than be on my own?
Well,
it's easy.
the switch is
What's wrong with being alone?
Nothing.
I think we were conditioned to believe that there's something wrong with being alone. I think the way we're raised and the things we see in the movies and the stories and the people we meet, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything wrong with being alone. But on the contrary, I think a lot of people do need somebody to thrive, to be their best self. But you have to be comfortable with being alone. I think you have to be comfortable with being alone before you can be comfortable with someone else.
There's a great freedom in being comfortable and being alone, and it goes.
You have to love yourself. It's not about being alone.
Going back to grade school, and that fear of being picked last, dodgeball or whatever sport you're playing at recess. Everybody wants to be picked first. They want to be seen.
Conditions you. Yeah, right. It leaves an impression. And then it becomes that way in the workplace when you get older. It never really changes throughout. If anything, the stakes get higher and there's more of an impact. Big deal. You didn't get picked for kickball. Oh shit, I didn't get the promotion. Like, it's like it's heavy stuff. That's heavy stuff.
All goes back to the ego and needing to be seen and feelings and
fuck kickball. That's what I say. Fuck kickball.
Kickball has destroyed so many young men,
hasn't it? It has. It's definitely demasculated us over.
And I feel that men suffer from this way more than women do. That vulnerability.
It's different expectations, right? What do you think, Joey? Would you pick me first? Always. You before me. I don't know. Question. We were talking about being alone and being comfortable with being alone. But when we're alone, our minds start to unravel and the anxiety starts to set in and the quiet becomes suffocating, right? How does one be comfortable with being alone in their thoughts? Because that's exactly where you go when you're alone. You go in here. And I think that's why,
and that's why when we're alone and we fear that's why we procrastinate. to lose that loneliness, to find something else that distracts us from that pain, from that being
I think you
picked
need
last.
to. I think you need to build a relationship with yourself. A lot of
Yeah.
people forget to. People forget to be kind to themselves and love themselves and accept themselves and encourage themselves and build a relationship with yourself. Because if you love yourself and you're comfortable and confident with yourself and you accept yourself, other people are gonna see that, they're gonna get attracted to that, and it's gonna speak to them what you want without you even saying anything. I think it's important. It's not about the alone thing. It's about loving yourself and building a positive relationship with yourself and accepting yourself, whatever that looks like.
So, what are some ways that you can show yourself love or to build that for yourself, that relationship with yourself? What are some of the things that you practice?
One of the big things that I did when I first got sober was I was told, and it didn't compute, and it really didn't resonate with me. It took a long time for me to wrap my mind around it. But one of the big lessons I learned early in recovery was to forgive myself.
Yeah. Yeah. To look in the mirror and forgive yourself.
Just
For
forgive
what, though?
yourself. Like,
For what?
forgive yourself for what you did, what got you there, who you hurt, how you hurt yourself, how you disappointed yourself and others, how you messed up this, that, or the other thing. How you could have done better, and all of those things that we do to beat ourselves down. You have to just step back and say, okay, if I want to get better, I have to get out of that quicksand of hate and disappointment and anger and frustration and just forgive myself. Okay, that happened. I did that. That happened. But I don't have to carry it with me into the future. Like, regrets and resentments are like really heavy suitcases that you carry
Skeleton.
around.
Mm.
And you carry them around like it's your job. And what I had somebody tell me is that that anytime you want, you can set those suitcases of resentment and regret and self-loathing down and just walk away. All you do is forgive yourself, and it's all it takes. There's no magical, there's no lottery to hit, there's no book to read, there's nothing to do but the simple act of forgiving yourself and moving on.
I love
Well,
that.
we are our biggest critics at the
Mhm.
end, and we put ourselves on we hold ourselves so much higher, and we're shout outs. I thought that was John C. Riley for a second, looking at that picture. That is fantastic. I mean,
John C. Now I got to see who's John C. Riley.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
That's the greatest shit I've ever. That's how you forgive yourself, right there.
Damn.
We got to stop taking
Damn.
ourselves so serious.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
That's what we have to do. We have
Stop
to
taking
learn to
yourself so
laugh.
seriously.
You know what's
Um,
just as powerful as forgiving yourself is forgiving other people for hurting you,
Oof. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's hard.
That's part of the process too.
or understanding where their attacks are coming from and not taking them personal and saying this has nothing to do with me. Like
Everybody's
I'm
just
in
trying to
your line of
survive.
fire, but if it wasn't me, it would have been something else because you're clearly dealing with something that's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And that's been able to help. That's helped me just as much as anything is noticing or realizing that
Being compassionate.
somebody's attacks on me has got nothing to do with me. This is you've got this going on and you're triggered for whatever reason, and this is something that's just coming up for you.
They have to work through it.
Yeah, this is something you need to deal with.
Yeah, figure it out.
I'm just in your line. I'm just in your line of a fire. That's it.
Why is it so easy for most of us to give other people shout outs to Neil? It's so easy to give other people I gotta be careful how I word this.
Take your time.
when it comes to ourselves, and it's so easy to tell other people what they can and how they should do things, or to recommend something to someone, to give advice. It's easier to give advice to somebody else than it is to ourselves, right? Like
Yeah.
I've had many friends, personal close friends in my life, and they'll come to you and they'll be going through something, and then you it's so easy to be like, here's what you should do. But when it's us,
I think it's because words are exactly just that. They're just sounds that come out of your mouth.
this
But
is noise. Yeah.
then you got to actually take action,
It's
right?
shout out to
Yeah.
procrastination.
Yeah, it's the procrastination fighting. So it's easy to say words out of your mouth, the first thing that pops up in your mind, but it's the taking action part that we're struggling with.
Because you don't have to take their action, they have to.
Right.
So it's easy to tell them and give them advice, but then it's like, well, give yourself advice. What are you doing? What do you need to work on? Right?
Yeah.
What's something that's affecting you? And we're I think a lot of times what people do is they're too busy telling other people what they should be doing.
Do you get that a lot? Like, I know you're probably connected with a lot of people, like
Yes.
behind the scenes, and people
Yeah.
are constant. People want Joey's attention because you're Joey fucking Cannoli, right? And they want to tell you how to run your streams and what to do, and I don't know what kind of shit you
It's like that on here, but it's also like that in like personal
behind
personal
the
life.
scenes.
You know what I mean? It's the same everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I think all of us have been guilty over giving someone else advice and not following our own. You know what I mean? That's the hardest thing for me. Why is it so easy to give advice to someone else's issues that, because we don't have to take action? You answered it. It's because they're the ones that need to take the action. So when it comes to our own things, then we procrastinate. Then we,
Totally. Yeah.
come back tomorrow, next week.
Yeah.
Damn.
Other people's shit is always easier than your own because
Yeah.
you don't got to deal with it. You're
Gotta
like,
deal with it. Other people,
not
right?
my fucking problem.
Yeah. What is that?
It's amazing how we make our own problems too, and they're just
Oh,
it's just like a pattern going on in your head. You're the one making the pattern.
but Jonathan, you said it best. Like, you can just drop the baggage. It sounds so easy.
It's just that easy.
It's just that
There's-
easy.
There's no switch to flip. There's no money to pay. There's no membership. There's no fees. There's no hurdles to jump over.
Right.
At any time when you want to set down your baggage of resentments and anger and regrets and all your bullshit, set it down, walk away, forgive yourself, and give yourself a clean slate to start building something new. You can change at any time.
There's no time
Or you
limit.
can stay the same. Either way.
Yeah, there's no time limit. There's no right or wrong
Yeah.
way. But when you're ready, and you have to
Yeah.
be ready.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
That's the thing. You have
it's
to
all
be ready.
fluff.
You can't
Yeah.
tell anybody to, like, when I got down to Florida, I was ready. And I ran into people along the way of my recovery, and I was feeling groovy about myself, and I wanted to tell them, "Oh, do what I did. It's really easy." They have to be ready. People
Right, giving
can't
advice
hear
to other
you.
people, right?
People can't hear you unless they're ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
People can't hear you unless they're ready.
Yeah, we create our own chaos. That's absolutely right.
Unnecessary chaos.
At the end of the day, like when you're on your deathbed, none of this shit.
None of this shit matters. None of this. All of this stuff
matters.
surrounding us doesn't matter.
Self-made, self-imposed. Your fear, your limited beliefs, bullshit, yada yada yada. None of it matters.
I'm sure when we're on our deathbed, God willing, it goes like that. Yeah, but you probably start reflecting on all of those beautiful memories and the connections you made throughout life. You don't think about all this bullshit that we surround ourselves with every day. You start thinking about those moments that left an impression on you. Like a movie starts playing in your head from like little on. I think I would imagine that's what it's like.
I think even pain should be looked at in a positive light. So many of us look at pain and suffering and they're like, oh, that's
those
hard.
are lessons.
Like, let's run away from. But I think pain is a beautiful thing.
It shapes you.
Biased to side with things that make us feel good and stay away from pain. But pain is, like you were going to say, they shape us. The pain
It shapes
shapes
us.
you, shapes your behavior. It's a mold. And I'm learning to accept pain. Like I'm almost like going out seeking for pain and seeing, how
Yeah.
can this change me? How can
Yeah.
this improve me as a human being?
You're hungry for growth. You're
Yeah.
hungry
How
for
can I
change.
it's
fall in love and
necessary.
get my heart broken again? You know, like
It's
what will that?
necessary.
It is absolutely necessary.
It's the kid that puts their hand on the fire. Don't
Oh,
stop them.
yeah.
Just let them put their hand in the
Right.
Let
fire.
them find
We've
out.
already
Then we'll do
learned that lesson. Let's learn another one, because you know, the lesson's already there, but what else is just as dangerous but will teach you, right?
it. Yeah. Damn.
There's something about growth and as a human being, and being able to alter your thoughts and your perceptions and your behaviors, and just becoming a different person from it is fucking amazing. It's truly like, it's a beautiful thing. So
Goes
I've
back.
learned to accept pain
Yeah.
and not judge it for, oh, this is shit, this is awful, how horrible, like, poor me, you know, and say,
Yeah.
realize this is come into your life for a reason. This is you're here to grow from it.
Reminds me of
And
the. Oh, go ahead, Jonathan.
no, go ahead.
Just gonna say, it reminds me of those, the movies where it's like, if you could go back in time and fix something, would you know? And it's like, no, because I wouldn't be the person I am today.
No, I'd make
That's
it
right.
fucking worse, man. I'd
Right?
make it all worse.
We'd probably fuck it up even worse, right?
Yeah.
Because now we're like, shit, and then all of a sudden, like, your life's completely different, right?
I
You're
wouldn't
worse
change
off.
one thing.
Never,
Not
yeah,
one
I wouldn't
thing.
change a single thing, John.
No,
'Cause I wouldn't be sitting here right now if I changed any one little thing.
Facts.
and it wouldn't be fair if you can go back and change anything. What fun is that?
Right.
Like,
Right.
to you to
There's no
sit there
reset
and
button on life.
construct your life, you know, in
It's
the
not
way
a video game.
Right. There's no reset.
because you can sit here and plan out like your next week, but we all know next week isn't going to be the way you have it
plan
planned
it.
out. It's gonna be
Nothing goes
completely
Well,
different.
that's where acceptance comes in.
Yeah. Accept things for how they are.
Accept what happens.
Yeah. And that what I learned a lot last year. I really learned a lot. And one thing that I learned, the biggest lesson that I learned, is no matter how hard you try, sometimes in life things just weren't meant to be. You know,
And that's
whether
okay.
it was positivity,
fucking okay, man.
manifestation, doing this, doing that, no matter how hard I tried to fight and swim against, the current, against the tide, it just wasn't meant to be. And being able to accept that and completely let go of all control and be like, this is just how it
Yeah.
is.
Well,
This is how
that's
it was
the
meant
thing.
to be. That was tough.
We have to understand we control very little
Yeah.
of the world.
But we
Yeah.
try to
Very,
control
very
everything.
We try
Yeah.
to.
We try to.
And think about how much time you waste trying to control things. How much of my life did I waste trying to control other people, trying to control everything that I thought needed controlling, when at the end of the day, that stuff went on doing and being whatever it was going to do and be. And I wasted all of my freaking energy and time trying to control it when I could have been spending that time doing anything else.
Sure. Yeah. But even that got us to where we are today. Even the procrastination.
Right.
You know.
I
It's still,
don't regret nothing.
yeah, me neither.
Not one thing. Because
Yeah.
if I didn't make the mistakes when I was younger, if I didn't go through the nonsense I went through in my 20s, if I didn't do the drugs in my 30s, if I didn't go down to Florida in my 40s, I wouldn't have met all the friends I met. I wouldn't have, gone to all the countries I went to, had the experiences. I wouldn't, be where I'm at and with whom I'm with right now if I was to change anything. So I won't change none of it.
Hell yeah.
None of it.
Hell yeah.
It's all beautiful, man. Every bit of it, the pleasure, the pain, the architecture, the construction of the way everything works is so damn fascinating, and it's nothing but beautiful.
I'm even grateful for my blindness. Like if I wasn't blind, I wouldn't have stopped working and lived this life of Riley, where I don't have to work and I get to travel and I get to be with people I love and I get to do things I want to do and I get to have exquisite pain like this.
That's
Oh,
the name right there, huh? Exquisite pain. There's beauty in
Life
the
is
pain.
life is
Yeah.
great. Life
Mm.
is great.
there's beauty in pain too, and that's what the exquisite pain was
Yeah,
all about.
the
It was
beauty.
embracing a heartbreak, and I totally embraced it. And I
Listen to
found
that.
I looked for the beauty.
Listen to that. Eugene, how does it make you feel though?
It's the smoothest cap in the game. I mean, I don't know
It
that there's
sounds-
one better than this.
Yeah.
Seriously.
How
I'm not
does it
trying to
make
blow
you
sunshine up your ass, but
Hey,
Thank you.
shout outs to blowing. How does it make you feel, Eugene, that people it's kind of like a song, right? An artist creates a song and everyone finds a connection with their own experiences and they're able to connect with it. So that was your story. You ever wonder what everyone else's is? You know? The exquisite pain. What is their exquisite pain? What
Yeah, we're all carrying some sort of cross, right?
Yeah, we all got a
carry that
cross.
burden, those thoughts, life is more about suffering than it is about feeling good. I think the majority of us go through our day and we're more in pain than enjoying what it is we're dealing with.
Yeah.
But like you guys said, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was bloody painful, but it was beautiful at the same time. Not to sound like a hippie or,
right.
but I really
It's beautiful now because we've experienced it. We've had time to get comfortable with it, to try and understand it, to question things, to look at it from a different point of view, right? But when you're going through the shit, it's pain. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it shapes you. It changes. You adapt. It
Man,
makes you
yeah.
stronger. It makes
When
you
you're in
stronger.
pain, all of a sudden you just want to treat everybody well. You have no energy to treat somebody like shit. At least that's how it was for me. It's like when I was in pain, I saw everybody else's pain. I learned so much about myself through pain, and in doing so was able to learn about other people. And learning, like, even though I don't have now somebody like a partner or somebody to love, I'm learning that by loving myself, I love everybody else that comes in my path, like the both of you.
Hey, I always say though, you can't really love someone until you learn to love yourself and understand.
Mm.
You know,
I think that's the baseline.
that's where it starts. It
That's
starts
the
with
great-
us.
That's the greatest lesson in all of mankind.
And the
That
hardest
is
lesson
the first lesson that everybody should learn.
to be
love.
comfortable. Yeah.
You need to love. You need to have it in your heart.
Love is the frequency. Love is the universal vibration. You got to plug into that, and everybody else is, or you hope everybody else plugs into it too, and you get on that same vibration. But it's easy to get disconnected from that.
Very easy.
That vibration.
And that's that procrastination. When you separate yourself from
But the plug is inside of you. You get what I mean? The socket is inside of you.
Yeah.
No, not to sound funny or anything, but
Should I light up a joint and sing Kumbaya or what?
Sounds good to me.
I haven't smoked weed in so long. I can't even remember what it's like.
Somebody else knows what it's like.
Listen,
Yeah, it's all good, man.
yeah, life is good.
So what felt better, to smoke weed or get blitzed? Jonathan.
You know what? I didn't smoke weed for the pleasure of it. I smoked weed to like slow myself down because I was always 1,000 miles an hour at all times, and I kind of was self-medicating with weed, and I kind of used it to level myself out for a lot of years, for a good,
Coping
I'd say a good
mechanism.
15, 18 years, I just smoked weed every day, all day. And it brought me down to kind of, manageable chaos.
So it was never for enjoyment. It was never for
No,
recreational. It was a medicated.
no. And then drinking was for socializing. But I learned later, finding out about my genetics and my family tree and all that, that I had a propensity, or you know, uh, I had the capacity to consume large amounts of alcohol, and so that, coupled with the weed that I was already smoking, and then I was getting older, trying to run around in a young man's game. Then I started to use like caffeine and opiates to kind of put gas in the tank, and then I was like lifting
Up,
and
down, up, down,
lowering,
up,
lifting,
down.
and trying to still stay at 1,000 miles an hour at 40 years old, and it wasn't working, and that's where I just kind of, the the engine kind of started breaking down. So it was either pull out or die. So
I was for many years
I always
addicted to a cocktail of ephedrine and caffeine, and I would stay up late all night and party and go to work the next day and just fuel off of that, and it would keep me going. But at the same time, I realized it was making me crazy because
yeah,
like the things it was doing to my mind was just like completely outrageous. The thoughts that I had,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you know how you feel when you're over OD'd, when you're jacked on coffee, and
yeah,
ephedrine is just more of the same. Ephedrine's now
yeah,
outlawed in Canada; you can't buy it.
yeah. It's yeah. You get to a place where you're like outside of reality. Like after a solid 20 years, from 20 to 40, of just ripping and running and trying to juggle a regular life, and then have this monster go on behind the scenes. You start to get outside of reality, and
Mhm.
things start breaking down, and it's like the Matrix, where you see things, the buildings start to crumble, and you're like, I can't hold everything together anymore. So
It's fucked, eh? Yeah. I know even with weed, like if I'll smoke weed, which is not very often, it's my
Mm.
level of awareness goes from like whatever it is to it quantifies, It's like I can feel all these things within my body and around. And I don't know if I don't, it's not that I'm imagining these, but I can literally feel like even just my heartbeat, every beat I can feel while if I'm sober and normal, like I don't get these realizations, you
for
know,
me, what that was it dialed down all the chatter, and it allowed me to
focus.
sense what was there, that I'm not sensing when everything else is dialed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When all that chatter and life and worry and stress and inner monologue and everything's dialed up to 10, and you smoke a joint, everything like gets turned down to 0, and you're like, oh, you can hear the trees talking to you, and you can hear your heartbeat, and you're
Heartbeat. Yeah. I
having,
can feel even my mind, I can feel my brain breathing. It's that like that's my level of awareness just gets crazy. I can feel the water in my mind just kind of breathing with the brain.
Fuck, man, you might want to get that checked out, Eugene. I don't know.
No, dude, it's wild. I'm not even kidding, eh? I'm like,
Fuck, man.
holy fuck, this is
yeah.
wild. But then all
Listen,
of a
I've
sudden
smoked some weed. I haven't had that kind of weed.
my mind gets itchy inside. I almost want to go inside my
Dude, it
head
just
and scratch my
start
brain.
scratching your brain, man.
Yeah. But I do a
You're
lot
like,
of meditating, so I already have that kind of awareness. But if I smoke weed, it's like that level just it goes up.
Yeah.
sure. This some campfire talk shit we're having right now. I feel
Mm.
like I should be sitting
Yeah.
around my campfire. People are, recreationally and enjoying each other's company. This is some good shit. I like this.
Yeah, we should get more people to partake. This could get very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What are you smoking there? A pipe? What do you got
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, I got a pipe. It's a real pipe,
Are we going
but
to be on for another minute? Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll be right back.
this is my pipe. I decided to invest in a pipe, Eugene. What do you think?
I think it's cool.
It is
If
cool,
you
man.
get some red flannel, you might become like Paul Bunyan or something.
Yeah,
with
well,
that
you know
beard.
what? With fall being here and winter around the corner, and
What do you got in there, bro?
what do you mean, Eugene? I have exactly what I need in here
Mr.
at the moment.
Bubbles and Juju's letting the cat out of the bag. Dude, that's not a fucking pipe, man. You're blowing bubbles. Get the fuck out of here.
It's actually a real fucking pipe.
But you're blowing bubbles with it.
Yeah, but this is a legit pipe. Like, this is a genuine pipe.
Well,
I
it
just
looked like
thought
a real pipe.
No, it is a real pipe. It really is
Yeah.
a real pipe. Listen, I have pipe cleaner. I have everything here. I just thought I would, put bubbles in it. I didn't want to be taken too serious, so I thought I'd put bubbles in it. And thanks for noticing. Fuck.
So what's up? Are you streaming today, or what's going on? Are we
I don't
cutting
know.
into your
I'm really
face,
I'm
or-
really enjoying my time here, Eugene. I don't know.
I'm really enjoying the moments too, and you can see in the title, "In the Moment, All Is Love," and that's what I
I
feel.
got
right
nowhere to go, Eugene. I loved the conversation you guys were having, and I said, "This is what I want to do with my time," and that's it. I'll get I'll get to my stream when that time is here, But for now, I'm enjoying this.
I'm still
All right.
scheduled for Christmas, Joey.
You know what? I cheated coming here tonight. You know that, right?
I know you did. And how much jump off?
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, you got up shortly after I arrived. I go, shit. Maybe he doesn't want to see me. I was like, is he fit? I get to see Jonathan a few times a year. It's like that extended family where it's like only on the holidays you get to see him, and you're like, oh, how you been? This is a real treat to catch Jonathan here. So
Yeah, it is. He's always in the chat, but it's nice to have him on for an extended period of time and getting to know him like on a deeper level than fragrances. I love this stuff.
This is nice.
Just hearing everybody's story and getting to know the person behind the name.
I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to listen. I'm here to learn. I'm here to open and share. And I like that shit, I like this. It's a nice break. It's a nice break. I don't mind it. But you know that, Eugene. I got to come around here every now and then and get my fix.
Yeah, I love having you on.
And I always leave feeling better.
This is a really good corner of Fragcom that we have here with this particular group of channels, and with the Rich Mitches and Ramsey and Galen and Thomas, and like this whole corner of Fragcom is just a bunch of good people. I'm really happy I've gotten kind of in the middle of it. Gotten to know some people over the last
what's
couple of years.
amazing is every place, every channel has its own style. Everybody's, they create what they feel. And I don't think there's any two channels out there that are similar.
No.
And that's
right.
That's great. There's something out there for everybody. And I realize like Neil said came on and he's like, he's going to help people improve their streams. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. Like, I like my streams the way they are. I don't think anything needs to be improved. Joey has his stream and he runs the way he likes. Rich Mitch has his stream and he runs it the way he likes, or Joe Anthony runs his stream the way, maybe these people, they're happy and content. But again, like when you're biased and you want things to go your way, you're giving your opinion. Like you said, Joey, why is it
you're not listening? Right.
Give our opinion to somebody else, then give ourselves that same advice.
Someone could hop on here. I'll use myself for example. I could have hopped on here, completely made it about myself, directed the conversation to whatever I wanted to hear, whatever I wanted to talk about, completely not listen to either of you, right? And people do this all the time. But I came here.
What does that sound like?
Neil, but it's shout outs to Neil. I don't know. Neil left because of the notifications, but
it doesn't take much, does it?
These are like, no, it doesn't. You the things that you think would upset him don't, and the ones that do, you're just like, what? This is why he left. But this is it, Eugene. When I come here,
He is all right.
He's all right. Sometimes, I got to be careful. I don't want to, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. But when I come here, it's like I'm visiting someone else's home. I'm going to take my shoes off before I come in.
Right. I'm always nervous when I jump on somebody's stream.
Dude, I get nervous before I start my own stream. Like, that's just normal. Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, who knows what you're gonna expect or what's gonna happen?
Who's gonna pop up? But when I come here, right? When I come here, you're leading the ship. This is your domain, your Havane. Whatever you want to talk about and share, whatever's on your mind, I'm going to do my best to complement it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not coming here, with intentions of just entertaining myself. I'm here to listen and to talk and to learn. And that's it. Everyone's stream is their own house. Yeah. Some households are more strict. Some are silly. Some are fighting.
And for me, that's fine when I'm alone, I can just talk and talk and talk. But when I have visitors or guests, I want to get to know them. I want to hear their stories.
Yeah.
I want them to share. People that come to watch my stream, they know me, I've shared enough. Right. But I think it's great that other people have a chance to share. And we all learn from each other, right? How many people can sit here and learn from Jonathan telling his stories of right? We can all learn something from that. I'm sure whatever Jonathan's lived through, there's at least one person in this chat that is dealing with something similar, maybe more.
I think it's
yeah. That's right.
And that's what Jonathan said earlier. We're all connected in a way, and we're all connected, and we're connected by learning from each other. And just as Jonathan speaks, or if you speak, just listening to your words, I'm like, it sounds so simple, but when they say them, it brings a clarity and an energy, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, but you guys are able to put them into words that most of us can understand. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense. And he's right.
We all have so much in common with one another. But I think a lot of times we try to find the things that make us different. That we all have.
That's the way of the world.
Right. It's just.
Unfortunately, this time we're living in is a very something. I don't want to get into it.
We live in savage times. That's what I say. That's
You're right.
It's pretty fucked
of individuals
at the same time.
Yeah, no. I dig it because I don't know. I perceive the world the way I perceive it. So the world is the way I want it to be, really. If you think about it, you know, like my dad tries to tell me what's on the news, or my mom tries to tell me what's going on in the world, but I don't have to engage with that. The world is what I want it to be. It has the people I want it to have in it. I'm doing the things I want to do. And, some days I'm up, some days I'm down, some days I break even.
Is this it though? When we leave this place in our body form, is this it for us?
For me, I don't think so. I think we're a soul or a spirit or an entity, whatever you want to say, an ethereal, beyond material entity living in a body, not a body that has a soul, some undefined thing. I don't know. I don't think I said that right, but
I think you said it exactly.
I think we're a soul with a body and not a body with a soul.
Right.
Just meat. Give me a second.
Meat puppets.
I was going to say, what about you, Bubbles? Yeah, I don't think this is it either. I think this is far from it. I think this is probably just the beginning, to what's waiting for us.
It's a chapter.
It's just kind of like the carrier of your soul. It's done, right?
Yeah, sorry, Julissa was making a call. No, we're vessels. This is a vessel, and we are energy, and we're a soul. And this body will rot no matter how great we take care of it, no matter how much we exercise, no matter how healthy and great we treat it. Eventually, it's going to fail us, right? And you want to make it count. You want to make it last. I don't know we always try to talk about what's the purpose? What's the purpose of all this? Why are we here? What is existence? Listen, we're a soul. We have. There's definitely a great beyond.
All right. So, do you
There's
think
no
you
way.
have your own soul, and Jonathan has his soul, and I have my soul, or do we all share one soul?
I think we're all connected. in
Well,
some
yeah,
way.
I think there's a collective soul.
Shout outs to
Collective
December.
Because when we're born, we're all born from zero. We're all born from that same one consciousness, and then we start
And
to take
we're all
on
just
personalities
aspects of it.
of
We're all
our own, and
reflections
we
of it.
believe we're different from others. But it's
Yeah.
just it's our life path, our experiences that make us different. It's not necessarily that we are different. It's the belief that we are different.
It's the great delusion of the ego.
Yeah.
And it's
Like
the
you
ego
said-
that separates you from everything else. I'm Joey Canoli. I'm Eugene. I'm Jonathan. I am this specific thing.
That's why it's the name I am.
No, you're not, fuckhead. You don't exist. You don't exist.
Yeah. We're just here. We're just here for a little
We're all
while.
playing a character, right?
Yeah, it's all a simulation.
We're all a character.
Caricatures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking of collective soul.
It's a great
been
way to
long
say it, though,
time
right?
since they've put out a hit.
Yeah. Hell yeah. What do you say, John?
Well, it's a great way to kind of summarize it. We're reflections, or we're little light sparkles dancing off that collective soul.
That's
that
what we are. Yeah. Just
That
little lights.
one, you call it God or Allah or Krishna or whatever you want to call it, or not call it anything at all. But I think there is something beyond the material.
Absolutely. Outside of the
some-
physical. Yeah. There's
one
definitely an energy.
universal energy that I don't think our dense,
Ego.
dense brains and material bodies, our gross material bodies, don't have the ability to perceive what's beyond. And once we loose ourselves of this gross material body, then we'll be on that plane to perceive what else there is, so. And I think you can get there, but it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of meditation, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of letting go. And it's a tough thing to negotiate, whether you hold on to the material world, which is all you know, or seek something, unseen.
Mm.
I don't know. Who knows?
We'll find out one day.
Yeah. We'll
We'll
find
learn
out.
today.
We have to find out, right? Like at the
Yeah.
end of this, like
Yeah.
there's somebody back there going, ta-da, this is what you've been waiting for.
Right. Yeah.
There has to be like an answer that we're all looking for, right? It can't just end like that and go, oh, that was it. That's it. Because it's all gonna go by like that. This is a split second.
Yeah. Got to remind yourself it's just a short 70, 80 years if you're lucky. In the grand scheme of things, it's a
blip.
It's a flea fart in the wind.
Just the
You know?
experience.
Speck.
We're just here to observe, man. Just here to observe.
Got to remind yourself about that, because how easy and how hard do we get bogged down in silly shit that just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. That's not to say, don't mind what's important. Don't take care of business. But sometimes, it's okay to let certain things go and enjoy it while you're here, And you talked about pain, learning from pain. Like my sister passed a few years ago, and, that's sad, obviously. And I'm very upset about that, but
Sorry to
I
hear
learned from it. The thing when she passed that really hit me the hardest was I couldn't remember the last time I talked to her. And that's a nasty thing to have to come to grips with. And why didn't I talk to her? Not because we were, we weren't especially close, but we weren't enemies or anything. But it's just that I was so wrapped up in my bullshit in my life and whatever the hell I was doing at that time
Your pain.
that we would talk. Yeah, my pain, exactly. We would talk maybe once every couple of 3-6 months, and wouldn't say much, but so after that, I used that pain to allow me or to push me to really not take anything for granted. Not one moment, not one interaction, not one person, not one relationship, be very grateful for everything because it could be gone just like that.
And you'll be the last to find out. Everybody will know but you.
That's right.
Yeah. That's why
That's
you just gotta just enjoy the moments as they come.
Yeah, make it count, right?
Yeah.
Be grateful. That we were even here, to have gotten to this point. Think of all the people that haven't gotten to this point or to our age, but that came
Right.
before us. There's blessings all over. You just gotta look for them. They're here.
And some people want to say that that's hokey to think like that or to talk like that, but I don't care. It's served me well.
I don't think it's hokey at all. It's worked for you. And there's no truth to anything, man.
Yeah.
Your that's truth, right. That could be your truth, and somebody that disagrees with you, that's their truth. And you guys can both be very different. You have different realizations, but they're both true for you. They're both true for you. Very true.
Yeah, don't ever let anyone discredit your truth, right? Or discredit your experiences and your lessons and your wisdom. Everyone's a critic, right? Everybody's a critic. Everyone's a critic. Everybody's a critic.
Everybody knows everything. Yeah. For me, the greatest truth is this moment right now and everything that's happening in this moment.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
That's the greatest truth.
Yeah.
That's all there ever is
this moment.
Right.
And it just kind of keeps flowing into the next moment. It's just like all these moments combined that are just so fluid and everything happens within them. Like you look at yourself and you look at a picture of yourself from 10 years ago and you look vastly different, or not even, let's say a month ago, and you look different. And all those changes, they didn't happen like at one specific point, but they happened in every single moment that passed by. In every fluid moment, there was a change that took place.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
So I
think I'm starting to get some gray. I can't.
You look fantastic.
Letting the hair grow.
There you go.
It's my last grasp of youth. I'm growing my hair long, but
you look fantastic, man.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to.
You're a beautiful man. You're a beautiful human being.
Thanks, man.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that. So, what's our scent of the day? What's your scent of the day? What are you talking about?
How did we get here?
How did we get here?
How did we get here? What is this?
3.5 hours of moments combined.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, give me your scent of the day, and I'm gonna run out. I've got boys to go pick up for the weekend.
I've been wearing Grandma's Table all week.
How is it?
All right, shout it out.
It smells like that cinnamon apple fall candle that you guys have smelled throughout your life.
I was just gonna
Christmas
say
time, spices,
pumpkin pie.
There's the sweetness. Everyone that smells this is gonna already have a scent memory made, and it's gonna take them back to some point in their life. So with it being, late October and November and December is right around the corner, it really got me in the spirits it's the happy memories that are inside here,
Right.
You know this smell.
And that's Mikey Denz's Making Sense?
Yeah, this is Making Sense, Grandma's Table.
All right, and where can they find those?
makingsense.net. You can find it online. Life of American Pie said cream pie.
Cream pie. What's better than pie?
Cream pie.
Not much.
Yeah, nothing better. I like a good blueberry pie. What's everyone's favorite pie?
Humble
you like
pie.
Blueberry? Crumble.
Humble.
Did you say humble pie?
Humble pie.
Humble pie. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But that's
sweet potato
that's
pie.
what I've been wearing. So
All right, what about you, Jonathan? You already gave us your scent, but hit us one more time.
Tobaccoed.
All right, really nice, and you got the big baller size bottle there.
Yeah. It's the first time I'm actually putting my nose on it. I just got it in yesterday. I
Awesome.
never tried
First
it or had
time,
it
eh?
before. Yeah, I don't know why I always passed it over. I've got Tom Ford and I like a lot of his stuff, but I don't know why that's always escaped my attention. But it's phenomenal. It's
Awesome.
absolutely phenomenal.
You get any fecal accords from it?
I get like a sweaty kind of a like a I don't know, like you're in a sauna with a leather jacket on. So
Yeah,
like and a little bit of a butterscotch feel. I don't know.
sure. A little bit of caramel, yeah.
Caramel. It's
Whiskey.
yeah, whiskey for sure. And it's sort of when I first smelled it, I got this sense of like when I was a kid, I had this cedar chest that I used to put my comic books in. When you open that cedar chest, I don't know if there's cedar in it, but you get that waft of like, I don't want to say stale air, but that cedar, dry cedar smell.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's some of what I get with it.
Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Joey, you gonna
Thank
start
you.
something up?
Yeah. I'm gonna go live in a bit. I'm gonna have dinner with you, with the wife, and then I'll go live, and then I'm gonna be gone. I'll be gone. I won't see you guys to sometime next month. So
You're going on honeymoon. I think that is the link to Joey Cannoli Raw. You go
Thank
on
you.
Joey Cannoli Raw or
yeah,
I
Joey
Am?
Cannoli Raw. I am is just for karaoke. Yeah,
All right.
Joey Cannoli Raw. I actually
Go.
uploaded a video today.
Go.
Did you?
Not a stream, a video.
Is it a fragrance related video or are you like trolling somebody?
I was talking about a special ed teacher turned OnlyFans model that went from making 40,000 a year to $1 million.
I
Millions
saw
of
you
dollars.
streaming about OnlyFans last night. Yeah.
It was kind of segueing into today's video. I just wanted to give it to you raw. It's a quick video. I said if someone you should be able to watch it in one sitting. So
One city.
Perfect.
no one's gonna watch a 3-hour OnlyFans stream. So it's
Guys,
a 4-minute video.
Amazing stream. Thank
Thank
so
you for
much,
having me,
Jonathan,
Eugene.
for coming on and getting vulnerable and sharing all those
Always a
personal
pleasure.
things with us. I really enjoyed hearing your story.
Thanks, man.
You know why I come here. I
Awesome.
enjoy my time always.
Always
Thank you
a
for having
pleasure.
me.
Joey Cannoli, I fucking love you.
I love you, Eugene.
You know that, Jonathan.
Love you too, Jonathan.
I
Love
fell
you
in love
guys.
with Jonathan tonight. My heart is open. I'm in love.
Jonathan's like family to me. You guys, I mean, after all these years and all these hours and just
Dude, he's like that guy that you don't see in 10 years and then you connect with him and it's like,
those are the best
yeah,
people.
you had a
right?
conversation with him last night, right?
Pick up where you
Right.
left off.
Just very
Yeah.
open, very observant, very sharing.
Now, scheduling wise, we won't see him to the beginning of next year.
So-
But
Yeah. Christmas, New Year's, something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. He might make a Christmas appearance, and then that should be about it. So,
Yeah.
shout out to supply and demand.
Yeah.
That was a nice comment. It'll get better. Supply and demand.
Okay,
Much love.
I gotta promote this. Before
Hell
we
yeah.
go. Now available on lesupstoday.com only exclusively. You'll never find this on the discount site. You'll never find it at Fragrance X. And we are shipping
TJ
to
Maxx.
France, UK, Sweden, Germany, Romania, Dubai, Australia. For now. So eventually we'll spread out, but there you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Great job,
Antoine Lee, and he doesn't create foofy shit. I'm not into foofy perfume, so check it out. Get a sample, get a bottle,
Yeah.
treat yourself.
Big fan.
Anyways, go check out Joey Cannoli. I'll tune in, and thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jonathan.
It was my
Thank you,
Thanks,
pleasure.
guys.
Thank
you,
you,
everybody.
Jaleesa. Glad to see that you're feeling better. Thank you, Neil, wherever you are.
Yeah, shout outs to Neil. We don't want to discredit Neil. Come on.
Hey,
Thank you,
thanks,
everybody.
Neil.
Thanks everyone for the super chats. Got really
Yeah.
really
Hell yeah.
Anuj and Rich Mitch really came through. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Good job,
Have a
Eugene.
good night.